Yo, it's soccer over there. Nick's not here yet. Are you surprised? John, the muting doesn't help the laughing.
Oh, 'tis true. Sorry, I was trying to reach down and grab water so it didn't spill all over the floor.
Oh, when I start trash talking Nick, that's when he pops up in the background. He's got to
He heard
sort
it
the
coming.
camera out, and
He
now
heard
he's
it
got to
coming.
try to make sure he can hear us. And
Heard it coming.
Nick showing up late once again.
Ears were burning.
I start talking trash, and then he just pops up a little ding in the background. I don't know if he's 100% ready yet. I'm watching the green room. It appears Nick might be finishing dinner, and that might be part of the delay.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if he can hear me. Oh, there he is. Okay, there we go. He can hear me, and he is eating. So while Nick's finishing eating, you know what time that is, John?
What time is it, Jason?
England!
There you go.
What's the update?
Update is that for those of you who are watching Monday Night Football, it was a goalless draw today.
Woohoo!
With Crystal Palace and Leeds. So you had
that's exciting.
You had the Hudson River Derby taking place on Monday Night Football with Patrick Vieira and Jesse Marsh.
No, you didn't. It had nothing to do with the Hudson River Derby. They don't even know where the Hudson River is in Leeds.
Unless Henry Hudson spent time in Leeds.
But I assume he doesn't know the river. Anyway, go ahead.
No,
sounds like a thriller.
Well, I mean, it had its moments because it
was England.
Yeah, that's true. So with the draw,
what were the moments?
Oh no, just I look at style of play. I mean, you know how we talk. We look at consistently. We'll sit there and say, you could have a goalless draw that because of how the two teams play, it could be really boring. But because of what you see from Jesse Marsh and Leeds and their way about going things, and then guys like Conor Gallagher for Crystal Palace. I mean, it was for me. It was a fun watch. Of course, go ahead and say why it was a fun watch for me.
No, we know it's a fun watch for you because it involves English teams, and you're going to be giddy about that. I'm looking at Crystal Palace with 17 shots, 7 on target. That looks like pretty dominant performance. Leeds with 9 shots and 2 on target. Not dominant. I don't think that's a stretch. In terms of chances created by the two teams, it was Palace who had the big advantage with 13. Leeds had 8. Not too bad. I mean, but it sounds like a thriller, John. It does.
Well, I mean, like I said, just I look at things stylistically, and I mean, seriously, you look at goalless draw, and goalless draws really could suck sometimes.
They can. I'm being hard on England. But yes, scoreless draws are not always bad. Crystal Palace and Leeds generally doesn't get me too excited.
No, but what this does with the draw.
By the way, I'm actually watching Avaí and Goiás in Brazil, so yeah, I've got plenty of room to talk.
Well, but I mean,
There's a goal in it though.
That's true. That's
12 minutes.
That's one more than we had this afternoon at Selhurst Park. But right now, as things stand, Leeds with the point. They are now at 34 points, 33 matches played. So they have 5 to go. And they are 3 ahead of Burnley. That's a sentence I never thought that I would be speaking on this show. But Burnley out of the relegation zone.
Why? What?
Just because of how long Burnley's been in the relegation zone this season. Now they're finally out of it.
So is Leeds.
Yeah, and Leeds under Jesse Marsh.
Close anyway. That's why they have a managerial change.
Right. And Jesse Marsh, you look at form for Leeds in the last 10, and Leeds has won 3 and they've drawn 2. So they've gotten points out of 5 of the 10 that they've their last 10.
Can I throw in a however?
However.
No, I didn't say it like that, like I'm trying to hit on somebody. I'm saying however. Everton has a game in hand. Right now, they are in a relegation spot. And when you look ahead at what they have, they host Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not good. They go to Leicester. Yeah, not good. They go to Watford. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They host Brentford. Okay.
Okay.
They host Crystal Palace. Okay. That's 3 in a row right there. They're going to go to Everton or they go to Arsenal on the last day.
Mm-hmm.
Palace Well, hold on. Let's look at Leeds. I think it's Leeds that has the difficult run
they
in.
do. They do. They have this Saturday. They host Manchester City.
Yeah, that's not good. They go to Arsenal. They host Chelsea. They host Brighton, who is rejuvenated now that they play Ecuadorians, and they go to Brentford on the last day. That Leeds is good right now, but when you talk strength of schedule between those two, that ain't good.
No, and then
that's difficult.
Burnley with only 4 to go. They are at Watford. They host Villa at Turf Moor. They are at Spurs. And then decision day, they host Newcastle.
Leeds is the one that I think you got to worry about a little bit. This is a different Leeds under Jesse Marsch. He's even getting praised by Jamie Carragher and Robbie Keane, which is shocking in and of itself. But he's doing that good of a job. So can he maintain? Well, it's about to get really difficult, and we'll see. I don't think he picks up points for a minute, and we'll see how that goes with Burnley and Everton potentially picking up points around him.
Yep. So the relegation fight is far from over when it comes to that third spot. Looking at the other two, Watford right now at 22 points. They've lost 4 in a row. And Norwich has lost 2 in a row. They're at 21 points. So you have teams that are 9 and 10 points adrift at the moment from getting out of the relegation zone with 5 matches to go for both. So it's looking like Leeds, Burnley, Everton at one spot.
Nick, were you enthralled by Crystal Palace and Leeds today?
No.
Were you enthralled by Juventus playing caveman ball?
No.
Are you enthralled by Milan's takeover potentially happening on Friday?
Oh.
No.
Okay, just checking.
3 for 3.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled by any of that. I'm not thrilled by any of it. I know.
Well,
I should be, but I'm not.
No, it's okay. It's okay. After the result from the weekend and then talking about it for 2 hours this morning, I needed a pick-me-up.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to find the joy in the game. Mm-hmm. And if you need to do that, I highly, highly, highly recommend the Ronaldinho documentary on FIFA Plus.
Okay.
Highly. I cannot recommend it higher. I'm an Argentine fan, and I'm recommending a documentary about a Brazilian.
Yeah,
first off,
that's crossing the streams there.
That's high praise. That's dangerous, but it's Ronaldinho. I think you get a pass for that. Mm-hmm. It's easy to forget because, yes, he was in a Paraguayan jail for 5 months. It's easy to forget because, yes, we did see kind of Ronaldinho partying days at the end.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget that he's one of 4 players ever to win a World Cup, mm-hmm. a Champions League, mm-hmm. a Copa Libertadores. He's the only one in the history of the game to do all of that and win the Ballon d'Or. Yep. His run from maybe 2002, where he wasn't the key piece of Brazil winning a World Cup, but he was important. He wasn't the most important, but he was important. Very young. That year, finishing at PSG, going to Barcelona through the year they win the Champions League, so through 2006. So 02 to 06. And you can conclude it. I mean, I think the 2006 World Cup kind of broke him in a lot of ways because that was a Brazilian team that was stacked. And they lost to France in the quarters. Mm-hmm. You know, you look back at that Brazil team defending their championship. Ronaldinho wasn't the same when he went back to Barcelona. That was when things got difficult. That was when people kind of started to turn on him. That was when, you know, he started partying more. Yep. But at his peak, 02 to 06, that's one of the best runs you'll find. I mean, we talked about this before on the show with Maradona and his run, and you try to find like a 4-year cycle for Pelé. You can pick a couple different 4-year cycles for Messi. Mm-hmm. But what Ronaldinho did in that 4-year cycle with a Champions League and a World Cup and some of the most ridiculous, audacious things on a soccer field that you can ever find.
Like ever seen. ever seen.
It's just, there's not going to be anybody like him. I think Neymar kind of got tagged with that early on. He's different. The craziest story in there that I did not know until watching this, when Ronaldinho moved to Barcelona, they get the deal done. His first week in La Liga, you got to remember times were different then. You didn't have like dedicated international breaks and stuff like that. They had league games scheduled for a Wednesday, and that was the first game after the deal got finalized for him. Well, Wednesday is when players had to report to their national team who'd been called up. So what Barcelona did, because they wanted him to debut, was they played the game to kick off at 12:05 Wednesday morning. The game kicked off after midnight Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. So he could play, because they're like, we need him to play. We need to get a result here. And they ended up like doing deals with local restaurateurs and chefs, and they gave like free gazpacho to everybody. And it was really cool. It was difficult. Sevilla got an early goal. They're holding on. And then Ronaldinho's first goal at Barcelona is absurd. Scored at about 1:30 in the morning to get a 1-1 draw. Like, that's how big of a deal this guy was. They played a game at midnight so he could play and not miss it going to national team duty. That's insane.
He was always doing stuff that made you question the laws of physics, like in a way that
the flip flap move.
I mean, I believe was it a corner kick or a free kick where he had the overhead. It was like the bicycle, but it was so perfectly timed. It was just clownish.
It's a cross, and it's a cross where he's on the backside, and he chests it kind of up, and as he's turning, he hits it, I think, with his left foot in a bicycle. It's one of the most ridiculous goals because it's just, I've seen guys chest it up to themselves and go for a bike, but he's doing it and turning.
Right.
And I think hitting it with his off foot. It's crazy.
Yeah. He was the guy that everybody was trying to emulate. Like the crazy step overs at speed, the pullbacks, everything was happening.
Sombreros, so many sombreros popping it over somebody's head.
Yeah, and he was doing this at speed. It wasn't like he was doing it like, okay, I'm at a light jog. No, it was like full on sprint, popping it over people's heads and making veteran defenders look like they had never played the game in their entire life. Like they were playing against 4-year-olds. And he looked like he always had this crazy big smile happening. Yep. The ponytail was always like sticking straight out behind him because he was moving so quickly.
He found that smile again at Milan. Like, and he, he wasn't the same player when he was at Milan after his time at Barca, but he had some pretty special moments at Milan. And I think he found that joy again, because the last 2 years at Barcelona were hard for him. And if you don't know his story, and I didn't really know much about his story, honestly, before watching this. I mean, he lost his dad very young in a freak accident at home. His brother broke through at Gremio and really was the breadwinner for the family. They grew up poor. They started to have a little bit of security once his brother broke through at Gremio. And then his dad died. And then his brother had a horrible knee injury and was out for a long time, ended up taking a deal to go to Switzerland for money. And he wasn't the same player at that point, but he did okay. That's his agent now. And then, Ronaldinho, like, it really took futsal for him to break through. And he went to play futsal, and the stories they tell about when he shows up to play futsal, and just the first goal he scores in futsal is insane.
They had a Nike commercial with him playing futsal.
Yep, and that's it. It's from the first game he played with this team, and they have a couple other clips from it. But that's where he really started to get attention. Then it was difficult for him to get out at Gremio because that was his dad's club. He didn't really want to leave, but PSG comes calling. It ended up with all kinds of legal threats and all of that. And then the move to Barcelona, I don't think you could pull this off today, but as he's getting ready to leave PSG and they're trying to figure out where to go, it's either Manchester United or Barcelona. And his brother's his agent, and they get into a hotel, and Manchester United's in one room and Barcelona's in another room. and he's going back and forth and listening to the pitch. And he's going to go to Manchester United. But they basically pulled a card that we've talked about that Barcelona can pull, and other, it happens with some players, maybe with an Erling Haaland, of you can go and be part of a great club there, but you can come here to Barcelona, who had fallen on some hard times. Louis van Gaal's run at that time, I think it was the second run, didn't go well. They were, kind of close to a relegation spot in the year before. They were bringing in Frank Rijkaard as the manager, and they convinced him through his national team manager, like, hey, this is where you can go and be a legend. Mm-hmm. And it's true. And it was. And he was incredible in those early days at Barcelona, and really lifted them up and brought Messi through in a lot of ways. He was somebody that went out of his way for Leo, and Leo's in the documentary too. And some of the stories he tells about it is really cool. He always played with a smile on his face, and that little time after the 2006 World Cup until they went to Milan, he lost that. He lost that smile on his face. And then I think he found it again in 3.5 years or 2.5 years in Milan.
Yeah.
Won a Serie A.
Yeah, he was very good. He was not the stratospheric Ronaldinho. He had moments of magic that were just still absurd, but it wasn't the drag racing, the drag racing physics defying moments that you saw at Barcelona. But he was still a critical piece of that Milan team. And I saw him play in person when Milan played Club America at the Dome.
Yeah, that's right.
And he had a couple of moments in that game that were pretty nuts, where he went and was like popping the ball up in the far corner and was putting some of the Club America guys on skates for a minute before he got subbed out. But he was, it's somebody who immediately captured the imagination. There are very few players who I think captured the imagination in a way that he did. And Ricky Kaká had moments where he was just like, what planet are you coming from here? But I don't think Ricky Kaká will be spoken with when it's all said and done in the same ways. Like I'm talking like 10, 15 years from now, Ronaldinho is going to cap because of the way that he played, the joy that he played with, the freakish, tricks that he pulled on grown ass men in the most tense and high pressure situations. He would still pull these tricks off. He captured the imagination, which is what you want from your ultra mega superstars. And I think if he had avoided the club life, I think if he had avoided some of the trip ups that he encountered, maybe avoided the Italian physios for a bit, I think he could have been like, the debate would have been there. Like, okay, is it, even today it would have been like, all right, is it is it Maradona? Is it Messi? Is it Ronaldinho? Like, but I think that the run just, I don't think was quite long enough.
No, he's not the best ever. You can't. I don't think you can't put him there.
No, I don't think he is. I'm just saying that had he stayed healthier, had he focused a bit more on the field world and not so much in the off the field world, because when he showed up at Milan, he was visibly out of shape when he was at Milan. I mean,
no, his last 2 years at Barca were rough.
Yeah, and so I think if he doesn't have that, I think maybe you're talking about him in a little bit of a different way. I think there's still that what might have been
there is
with him. Which is,
I think the thing about the documentary that was impressive is they don't try to, it's not an excuse for it. Because ultimately it's his career, and he did what he did with it. Mm-hmm. And he played for a long time. He was at Querétaro and got them to a Liga MX final, towards the very end. But he did, I think there's a little bit of an understanding of, after that World Cup in 2006, where like a nation kind of turned on him in Brazil after they got knocked out. He took a lot of the blame, I think unfair blame. It's
Right.
Look, it's the stuff we hear about incredibly talented players all the time. Oh, he wasn't playing for the team. He was just trying to show off. He lost the ball too much. That kind of stuff. They tore
Why is he
down a
dribbling the
statue.
ball?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. They tore down a statue of his. They,
Oh
all this stuff after the 2000s, after like 4 years before you won the World Cup, and I think all that really affected him. And he was also somebody who really, like, look, he loved the nightlife. There's nothing wrong with that. Plenty of great players have, but at that time, it kind of got darker about loving the nightlife. It wasn't about the fun party, happy go lucky. All right, got to get ready for training the next day. It was, I need to escape.
Yeah.
And that was the struggle. And, everything with his family and then that World Cup disappointment for 2 years, he was really kind of lost. And I think it took probably a year at Milan, that first year, to kind of get back into the flow. And then that second year at Milan, if I'm not mistaken, I think he led Serie A in assists. He had a really good second year when they won the title in 2010.
He was what you had with that Milan club was that you still had a ton of legends at that club that you didn't have to worry about being the man at all times. If you had an off game, you didn't have to worry about everybody in the city ready to, to burn your jersey. There were enough studs on that team that you could be like, all right, I'm just going to relax and play because I've got one of the best defenses and, especially one from defensive midfield back ever assembled. So pitch invaders.
Madness.
But yes, to your point, that 2009-2010 season, he was the assist leader in Serie A.
Okay, I did remember that, right? Just an incredible player, and it was cool to get a little more background on him because, it's not that long ago. I think a lot of people who listen to the show and maybe even newer fans to the game, have at least seen the clips, have at least seen the commercials. And, when we had Nicholas Firmino on from Atlanta United too, he was talking about watching the commercial and trying to recreate the pinging it off the crossbar and having it come back to him. And, I had the Ronaldinho boots when they came out, when he did his first Nike boots. I didn't do the white ones. It wasn't that cool. I did the black ones, and they were exquisite. They were great boots.
I feel like different players, like with Zidane, the ball was magnetized to his foot.
Yep.
In a way that was like, it just seemed unnatural. The way that the ball just kind of was like, zip, and stuck to his foot.
It seemed effortless with Zidane.
Right.
It seemed like a fight with Maradona.
Yep.
When he's on a dribble, it looked like he could dribble past you and stab you in the same motion.
Yes.
And with Ronaldinho, it was a party. He was generally smiling. It really was just enjoyable when he was at his peaks.
You could put on any of his highlights. You could just put on the samba music, and it matches up perfectly. It's like the playing what is it, Dark Side of the Moon?
Yes.
With Wizard of Oz, third lion roar, start Dark Side of the Moon, and it matches up perfectly, allegedly. Especially if you have other substances, allegedly. And it was the same thing with him. No matter what the game was, no matter who they were playing, okay, they're playing this team, they're doing a low block. Doesn't matter. They're playing this team and they're playing, hyper man, man to man, and they're killing people out there. Doesn't matter. It was still you can just imagine the drums and the horns and everything, and he's just pop, 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 popping the ball around. And because Nike, I think, did such a great job with their commercials. They had the one where you, the viewer, was the protagonist, and at one point you're playing against Ronaldinho's coming at you, and he's popping the ball over 3 dudes, but it's all stuff that happened in a game, really happened. And it was those moments where his moves were so audacious. All the kids were like, I'm gonna try it. Right. With Zidane, because the foot was so magnetized to the ball, it was it looks slow and simple yet fast. I don't know how to really recreate that. There were some players that, it was just a bullet, like somebody shot out of a cannon. Okay, I'm gonna try that. But his moves were so audacious and so cartoonish that it was like, if I even pull off one of these in a game, I'm gonna be a legend forever.
Yes.
and so it was he was transcendent. He will always be one of those players who will be a transcendent player. And
The first maybe like highlight YouTube kind of guy. YouTube was enough there, and you're pulling up the highlights and say, okay, I can do that. Okay, how did he do that? I can try to recreate that.
Yep.
He was maybe the first of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not quite the viral age on social media,
Right?
Because his peak was a little bit before that. But YouTube, absolutely,
Oh yeah.
absolutely. Those highlight reels of Ronaldinho from his time at Barcelona, good grief.
It was it was a remote dropper. He was a player that there are a few players I think that, regardless of who they were playing with, it was a remote dropper. I feel like Ronaldo Fenomeno was one of them. Brazilian Ronaldo in his prime, and was I maintain to this day, even when he was with Inter, was the most terrifying player that I have ever. The minute he got the ball, it didn't matter where on the field he was. It was like, oh dear God, no.
Yeah.
But even when Milan played Barcelona in the Champions League, it would still be like, oh my God, like this, please get the ball to him. Like, even he may score some otherworldly thing, please get the ball to him, because he's so much damn fun to watch. And I miss players like that. We have a few that, can still do that kind of stuff, but the guys who really capture the imagination, I don't know. I don't see too many of those guys around. Maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know.
All right, we better move on, because a certain segment of the listenership who follow a team that wears white in Madrid are not happy about all of the talk about a Barcelona legend, and Ricky would like to hear your thoughts. Which I thought this had already been announced, but I guess he's officially announced it now. Chiellini announces that he will play in the Italy-Argentina game at Wembley. That is his last game with the Italian national team, and he is retiring from the national team after that match. Your thoughts, Nick Leafy?
Bye.
That bad, huh?
Look, it's he without him, we're not getting the Euro. So
Finalissima.
So that's fine, I guess. But I'm of the mindset, if they had qualified for the World Cup, I'd be like, yeah, great, awesome, have fun in the friendly or whatever. You missed the World Cup. I'm sorry. Go out on your shield and be like, no, I don't.
I get playing in this. I mean, it's kind of the end of this cycle, so I get it.
I don't want no. If
it's not just a friendly, Nick, it is the finalissima.
Good. Even more so, if the game counts for anything, I don't want him in it. And
I do.
And I don't. Well, I know you do, because you're hoping your superstars go, bug nuts on him. I get it. But I don't want him on there. I don't want Bonucci on there. I don't want Insigne. I don't want Immobile. Immobile, I think, has already said he's retired from the national team. But I don't want any of those dudes in there. I use this one stupid opportunity to get a bunch of 18 and 19-year-old kids who would never, ever have a shot normally of making the national team, and put them out there and let them play.
But you can't have that, Nick. That would be logical.
Make Tonali the captain, and have Tonali be like Gattuso and say, if any of you clowns screw up, I'm stabbing you with a fork.
I get it. This is this. Let him go out one more time. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. We've had enough of it. We've had enough of it. Two World Cups.
This is it. They won the Euros. Care. They won the Euros. They got here.
No, he blew the opportunity to get Italy back into the World Cup. He's part of a group of old guys who hung around for too long.
If he comes to MLS, are you going to boo him every time you see him?
Yes.
Okay.
He's not wearing a blue shirt. I'm gonna boo him out the building.
Okay.
I want stadium directors being like, the person in 233 row 1, can we get security near him, please? Because they're gonna think I'm that dude who's gonna like rappel down, like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, like, they're going to take him out. Look, I'm sorry, Nosferatu needs to get out of here. I'm tired of. No, I'm tired of it. Look, the Euros were great. Thank you. It was
And that should have been
wonderful.
it.
It went to
No, he was
Rome.
in World Cup qualifying. That shouldn't have been it.
You know,
Come on.
they did not. That team so horrifically underperformed after UEFA laid out the most magnificent Egyptian cotton red carpet ever assembled for a team like Italy to get back into the World Cup. You're never going to get a path that simple again.
Was a nice draw.
Never going to get a path that simple again. And you couldn't, and you let North Macedonia, you let Northern Ireland, you let all these other bums get past you. You let Switzerland get past you. No, stop. This guy needs to get out. He should have walked away. He should have gone in front of the media right after the World Cup and been like, you know what? Winning the Euros was great. I appreciate my time with wearing this blue shirt, but I think it's time to let other people step into this role.
He wanted to play in the Finalissima.
I don't give a damn what he
Finalissima.
wanted. Failure removes the ability for you to control your narrative. Failure removes the ability for you to control your narrative. And this is not if I'm going to go out one more time and we're going to put on a show. No, because he's going to treat it like a friendly.
No, well, what he said, you almost quoted it. I had it in front of me. The Argentina match at Wembley will be my last for the Italian national team. Where's the full quote? Because he had something a little bit more about it. He's like, this is the place where, I had one of my greatest moments. Yeah, I'll say goodbye to the Nazionale at Wembley, which is where I experienced the apex of my career winning the Euros. I'd like to say goodbye to the Azzurri with a nice memory. That will certainly be my last game with Italy.
No one cares. I'm sorry. No one cares. No one cares. Get out of here.
If he was a Milan guy, you'd be saying different.
No, if he was a Milan guy, I'd be even louder about it. because get out.
National failure doesn't give you a +1 in your mind.
No, this is not Roberto Baggio, who should have been called for 02. This is not Maldini, who should have been called for 06. This is a guy.
That's what this is.
This is a guy who was the leader on two teams that failed to qualify for a World Cup. Four-time world champion. There are 4 stars on that are not a part of some artistic expression on a logo. Is 4 stars above a crest because you won the damn tournament 4 times. And then the past 2 times you had a shot to get back in that underperformed horrifically, asleep at the wheel. And you had a one blip, which was winning the Euros. Great, thank you. It was part of a magnificent Italian summer. But I'm sorry.
That doesn't get him the Finalissima?
No, get out. This should have been Mancini saying, I'm calling up young, talented players who we need to start prepping for the next cycle. That we need to start prepping for the Euros, that we need to start prepping for, because you don't have the luxury of any wasted games. None. 0. You have no luxury for any wasted games. No friendly. You better be treating every friendly like the Kumite. All right, I better see like Jean-Claude Van Damme, like high kicks to the face out here, and every friendly, everything else, it's done. You blew it. You cannot control your own narrative. Winners control your own narrative. Winners control how you go out. Winners control the messaging on your way out. Michael Jordan, Shaq, Kobe, all of them could sit there and say, champion, got it. Steph Curry, people say, oh, undersized, The first part of his career was great. Yep, multiple time champion. Have a great day. It doesn't matter. Champions call it. And if you're not a champion, if you don't win, then somebody else gets to point a finger and say, you can call yourself a legend. People may consider you a legend in some circles. But for the rest of us, it's all about how you shouldn't have been there. And I'm sorry that you got called up, and you should have, at some point, you should have accepted the fact that you just don't have it anymore, my guy. And as part of it's Mancini. Mancini should not have called him up. Chiellini
It'll be
should
funny
have
if Mancini hasn't actually like made a roster yet for this game, so it'll be funny if he doesn't call him up.
I look, cast out. Yes, Coco, cast out. You are banished from my house. You have brought shame upon this house.
That's harsh.
He should. And
116 appearances means nothing to you.
Nothing.
It's how you finish, not how you start.
Oh, don't pile on over there.
Look,
he was English. You'd be loving it.
This is the national team. And what about national team? You can't hold on. You can't hold on to any sort of nostalgia when you've missed a World Cup appearance as in Italy.
You can hold on nostalgia for the finalissima.
No, he doesn't need anything. He needs to go and stick with Juve. We made the Champions League again. Yay! With 36% possession against Mother Blanken Sassuolo, right? Not against Inter, not against Milan, against Sassuolo. You only got 36% possession for the game. All right, go help your squad. Go help the Zebras. Go do, yes, this is who they are. It is sure. No. Sorry. Go do something else. Go do a Netflix documentary. Do something besides put the blue shirt on.
Do a reality show in Denmark.
Problems.
There you go.
Go for it. Like undercover delivery man or something. I don't know.
Sure.
But get out. No, and don't come to MLS. You're not ready for this. Call it the Hamburglar.
He'll get lit up.
Call it the Hamburglar.
He would get lit up.
Hey, yes, a Hamburglar. Yes. What is happening with the MLS? Is it a good time? Sure. Is it amusing in the MLS?
No, it's not. I thought I could smoke during games. I can't even have a cigarette during a game.
What is wrong with you?
This George Campbell kid decked me in the middle of the game.
Yes.
This is Gonzalo. What is happening? Look, no, he doesn't need to come here because he doesn't need to be having asthma treatments like the Hamburglar. He does after a 5-yard sprint. He will get
brought to you by Primatene Mist.
Washed. He will get washed here. In fact, you know what? Chiellini, come here. Come here and get washed. And you're going to get washed not by Ronaldo. You're not going to get washed by Messi. You're not going to get washed. You're going to get washed by Brooks Lennon. You're going to get washed by Araujo. You're going to get washed.
Brooks Lennon runs while he's leaning over, though, Nick. I
don't have the filters necessary to handle that one.
You can see the thought bubbles forming.
Who signs Chiellini?
No, it's going to be someone stupid. It will be. I mean, it'll be like an NYCFC would sign him.
Toronto. I don't think NYC's stupid.
Toronto's
a little desperate.
Look, I don't because I don't. There's a difference organizationally. And like the management side,
I don't think NYC would do it. They would say no.
I'm just putting it out there. I think NYC would do it. I think Chicago would do it.
Chicago might.
And Los Angeles, like the Galaxy. Yeah, I think the Galaxy's a good shout.
I think the Galaxy learned their lesson from Stevie G, who couldn't run when he came. Mm-hmm. And I mean, look, Stevie G at Liverpool, all-time great. Just an incredible player. But when your game is based off work rate and you're old and you can't do the work rate, you're gonna struggle. Right. And he did here. Lampard was better here.
It won't be Columbus because
he's not gonna go. He couldn't pick out Columbus on the map.
No, most when you talk to most Italians about like America, they're talking Miami, New York, and Los Angeles, maybe Chicago.
Chicago, yeah, I could see.
Anywhere else,
Toronto, possibly too. I'm talking about Canada.
Like, where are you from? Atlanta. Oh, have you been to New York, Miami? No, yeah. I've been to those places. Very nice. But it's he's washed, and if he wants to come here and follow the Hamburglar, and have an asthma attack at midfield, have fun, buddy, because your days are done, and you shouldn't wear the blue anymore.
Finalissima.
No, you're done.
Chicago
washed.
plays defensive enough to where I think they could possibly protect him, and they could use the buzz possibly. The Chicago one, I'm kind of starting to buy into.
Yeah, Chicago. I think Chicago would do it.
They'd play him with 2. Inter Milan or Inter Miami, Turner. I don't think they're going to do it.
I think
Phil Neville doesn't want any part of that anymore.
Matuidi. I think they learned their lesson with Matuidi.
Yeah, Phil Neville's like, nah,
No.
I'm good. I'm good.
No.
Blaise Matuidi, we're still paying him, and he's sorting the mail in the back. All right. Come on.
Yeah.
We're good. We're not bringing that guy in.
He is someone who should be given an ambassadorship with Juve, and that should be his job. He essentially what the ambassadors do for Juve is when they have an event for Exor and they want to tout, the great Juventus teams, and they want to talk about Gianni Agnelli and his vision and everything else. They'll trot out a Juve player, but I'm sorry, you missed 2 World Cups. I don't care if you won a Euro, and that's great, and that's something that Italy needed to win. But you can't win a Euro and miss the World Cup. You're not Greece. Be better. And at some point, you have to be, and this is just me, there's a part of you that has to reach inside and be like, I'm a grown man who needs to recognize certain realities, and maybe it's time for me to be done and let somebody else come in here and finish this thing out.
All right, I have a challenge for you, Nick.
Oh God.
Juventus is doing summer camps for kids across the U.S. They're going to be in Atlanta. Tell people why they should go to the Juventus camp for kids.
So your kid can learn how to run a low block and do barely any sort of forward attacking movement. Unless, you want to kick the ball forward and let people run on it. But there were moments in the game with Sassuolo today where Vlahovic was turning around, screaming at the midfield, come and help me. And you just saw this 10, 15 yard gap between Vlahovic and the midfield. And that's because that's their game plan. Their game plan is to run caveman ball, bunker, counter. And it worked today against Sassuolo, which Sassuolo is going to want this game back. And again, just look at the stats. 36% possession. I'm sorry. You did what you needed to do. Don't tell me this is an improvement over Pirlo. Don't lie to me. No. And if you go on social media, it's
not an improvement over Sarri or Pirlo.
No, it's not an improvement at all. And for there are a lot of Juve heads out there who are like, we did exactly what we needed. There were a lot of injuries. No, I'm sorry, you suck, and you need to be better than this. I demand better from my rivals. I want my rivals to be great, because when I beat my rivals, and I know that I'm beating them at their best, I know that when I sit there and I cut a promo, I want to know. I want to say that promo with my whole.
There will
chest.
be no excuses that can be altered in the situation.
Right. I don't want to cut a promo after beating Ricky Morton. I want to cut a promo after I beat Dusty Rhodes. I want to cut a promo, after and not even Magnum TA. I'm talking about cutting big promos after I beat big names. And this right here is not what Juve should be. If Juve wants to be the club of Italy, be better. Elevate your lifestyle. All right? Elevate your damn level of being. Signing a whole bunch of dudes on expiring contracts is not Juventus. Signing a bunch of guys who are 2 steps from AARP awards is not Juventus. Be great. Dare to be great. And if you can't dare to be great, then at least do something that's halfway entertaining. This isn't entertaining. And I know Allegri's like, I'm doing what it takes, so we have to get to the place with the Champions League and get the money and da. No, I'm sorry. Be Lex Luthor. Okay? Don't be Kite Man. Be
that was
Lex
Michael
Luthor.
Bradley, Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor! Lex Luthor!
That's one of the greatest goal calls of all time.
One of the greatest goal calls of all time. But be Lex Luthor, right? dare to be damn good. And if you can't, okay, Ricky Ricardo, I hope my rivals are garbage and we beat them into
He's
submission.
a Real Madrid fan. You got to remember that.
Right. I'm sorry. No one remembers those fights. No one remembers those fights. You know, there's a reason
remember when
why
we kicked their butt 5-2 in a
right. Nobody.
Actually, no, people do remember that one, John. You would be thoroughly incorrect because the 5-0 score line in Spain on both sides of El Clasico, because both have done it in the last 20. Well, then they do remember that game. That's what I'm saying. But, like, that is a very legendary score line in that rivalry.
But like, there's a reason why people remember Ali Frazier. Because you had two dudes step in the ring and they're like, you know, especially Ali Frazier 3, which is like, if you have not ever watched the Thrilla in Manila, turn on that fight and you watch two dudes who at some point in that fight said, I'm willing to die. And like, that's the fight. I want something legendary. You want
Hagler Hearns?
I want Hagler Hearns, which is still the greatest 3 rounds of boxing history.
Yeah. I mean, are you trying to say that Juve now is Jerry Cooney?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
I mean, I wouldn't even say that. I would say that Juve is like it's like Lennox Lewis, maybe. Like, it's a really, like, they were really good, but they're not legendary. You're not going to remember them for anything, and you're not going to remember like, oh, this is you know. These guys were unbeatable. Okay, great. Boring as hell. Like, all right. There was no flash. There was no nothing. People watch Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury got put on the mat how many damn times and got back up like The Undertaker how many times? People remember those fights because they were incredible. There's nothing about this Juve team that's incredible. There's nothing that captures the imagination. There's nothing about them that says we are great. It says we are a grinding, plodding, ancient, decrepit bucket of horse poop, and we're so grateful to make the Champions League. Yeah, you know who else was saying that? Milan 2 years ago, after they spent $250 million in the transfer window and had absolutely jack squat to show for it and almost went bankrupt. Is that who you want to be lumping yourselves with? Like the on life support AC Milan? That's who you want to be?
I think they want to be sold for $1.1 billion like Milan's about to be.
Well, good for that. But, I mean, dare to be great. Dare to be great. Juventus doesn't want to be great. They're the people who were really good in high school.
They're on the slow roll.
They were really good in high school. They were unstoppable in high school. They got to college. They got their teeth punched in. And that's what, and we don't like that happening. That's exactly what's happening right now.
They're Jerry O'Connell in Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah.
They come back to the high school party and they're like, oh, yeah. No, wait a minute. Nobody cares about me anymore.
Nobody cares about you anymore.
All right.
Inter punched them. I give Inter credit because Inter's the one who did it. Inter's the one who did it. Give credit where it's due. Inter stepped up in those blue and black stripes and put 5 across the eyes like Rick James to Charlie Murphy and went, Padak! And Juve, with their moment, they should have stepped up and be like, oh, no one's checking us. Instead, they went, oh yes, sir. Yep, we'll sit right here.
Well, Juve's in 4th. They're 1 point behind Napoli, who is in a mess now. We'll talk about that in a second.
Possession. Against Sassuolo.
We'll talk about Napoli in a minute. We got to talk about the top of the table. Milan's on top, 2 points clear of Inter. Inter's got a game in hand.
Yep.
Great comeback for Milan. Injury time winner Ciro Immobile got his 26th goal of the year for Lazio. Early 4th minute, Giroud, the ageless wonder, level straight after halftime, and then late. Zlatan, speaking of ageless wonders, set up Tonali for the winner.
Tonali, man, there are some moves that I am thrilled worked out, and Tonali, who was at Inter's doorstep, snatched away to the place he always wanted to be, and that's wearing red and black. And after the win, he went on his Instagram and he put family. Like he gets it. Like he understands. Like he is, and he wears the 8 because he called Gattuso and said, "Hey man, can I wear the number?" And Gattuso's like, "Of course." Like, and for Gattuso to give that green light to that jersey and that number, that means something. He sees something in this kid. I'm telling you, he's the future captain for Italy, and I'm so glad it worked out. I'm very, very proud, and this is why I don't feel comfortable. And we talked about this before. Well, I'm not as thrilled about the $1.1 billion sale and all that. I'm thrilled at how this season has worked out, and Maldini and that staff that he's sort of surrounded himself with must be kept, because they have found diamond after diamond after diamond after diamond. They made really hard calls that were so so over the horizon in their thinking that everybody else said, "Oh my God, you're letting Donnarumma walk for free? Who is Mikey Magnon? You get it? Who in God's name is Mikey Magnon?" And Mikey Magnon has been amazing. They said, "Oh, Olivier Giroud is washed. He's old. Oh my, nope, balling." And I mean, you have Frank Kessie, who's like, he was the engine room, and how many teams are coming for him again?
543.
543 teams, including Robot Rabbit Attack and the nuclear capable tactical bunny.
Yeah.
Everybody's coming for Frank Kessie. And
Chicken in FC opening a new franchise just for Frank Kessie.
Just for Frank Kessie. And they're like, walk, have fun. We're not getting into the bidding war for somebody who doesn't.
It's funny that might change if they get this takeover done.
They get this takeover done.
So let me finish on Italy with this with you.
All right.
I'm assuming that you will feel better about the takeover if Milan wins the title this year without that kind of bonus help. If they get that win, then it's kind of like everything's gravy.
Well, I have problems with the ownership group in general, and then so yes, I want Milan to win this year, so I have something to hold on to when whatever it is that's going to happens. And I don't like, I don't like ownership groups, and I understand it's the name of the game. I understand that when you're talking about a named team that has a substantial amount of dollar value just on the logo alone, that you can, that either you're a problematic billionaire who owns the team, or you're part of some consortium of a group that you don't necessarily want affiliated with your club. And this is the case. And I don't want this $1.1 billion deal going through, but I understand Elliott. And Elliott got the team because a guy couldn't pay the interest on the loan he took out to buy them. And, it's a vulture hedge fund. They knew that Young Hong Lee could not make those payments, which is why they underwrote the loan. Yeah. And so
we'll be taking
this.
That's
why you call it a vulture
enough.
hedge fund, because they understood the financials, or the lack of financials there, and they saw an opportunity and had him signed to a deal that he had to sign to, knowing full well the end of the line was there.
Right. And I think they did by far they are the most successful American ownership group in Serie. They let the people who they understood very quickly. And I think this is the brilliance of the Elliott group. And don't get me wrong, like if Evil Corp from Mr. Robot ran a soccer team, it's the Elliott group, okay? They are like, by no means are these men saints, but what they did so exceedingly well is they didn't surround themselves with a bunch of yes men who claimed that they could do these crazy things, and we'll get it, we'll get a stadium built and we'll do this and we'll do that. Nope. They said, who's somebody who's used to running a team on a financially responsible level? Ivan Gazidis. Okay, yep, we're going to bring him in. Who are some people we can surround him with who understand the landscape, they understand the situation, they understand what this club is, was, and should be? Bring back in Maldini out from the cold. Okay, yep. And let's surround him with some other people who can really make things work. Yep, we made that happen. There were hiccups, there were bumps, but they recovered so quickly, more so than Camiso with Fiorentina, more so than Pallotta with Roma, or Friedkin now with Roma. They responded, with COVID, and they were one of the few teams that did not end up completely, upend over tea kettle as a result of the financial, burden put upon all these teams by this, because they ran things at such a fiscally responsible level. We knew this day was coming. I don't have to like it. And if you are a Man City fan, if you are a PSG fan, great, good for you. If you are a Chelsea fan, great, good for you. But I'm sorry, I have problems with this. I don't want, I don't want questionable groups running my squad, and I have to make like a lot of other people have to make choices up, down the road, because in the end, and I know this is good, people, I'm gonna get nuked by saying this, but I honestly don't give a damn. I'm a 41-year-old man. There's no reason for me to invest emotionally, financially, or whatever in properties and things that I don't align myself with. That doesn't mean I have to go and do a bunch of performative mess on social media as a result. But it just means that I may sit there and be like, no, I'm not going to engineer a trip to Italy just to go to a Milan game if this ownership group is, who we believe them to be.
It's something where I guess, and I haven't been in this situation with any teams that I've been, passionate about or, fell in love with when they were one way and are now something different. But I totally agree that performative stuff, like, stop, that's nonsense.
Right.
Like, you're not going to hate Milan now.
No.
Are you going to love them as much? Maybe not.
No.
Maybe so over time. Who knows? Like, you don't know. But no, the performative stuff is just a waste of time. Like, they were going to get sold.
They were.
And it was going to get sold to somebody who probably had something problematic, because that's probably why they were rich.
Yep.
That's just kind of where we're at.
And Berlusconi, man. Berlusconi was
I mean,
yeah. And it is, when you're a kid, you don't understand all that. So
Alex Bassine is sitting in the corner silently right now.
I know. Alex, I'm with you, bud. I'm with you.
I mean, but that's the thing. Like, then that's what's so hard about it is, the club does have something separate from who is writing the checks. Mm-hmm. The club has history that those checks didn't write. You have history with that badge that have nothing to do with the new ownership coming in.
Right.
And it doesn't go away. It doesn't, like, that history doesn't go away. Mm-hmm. Again, maybe it changes a little bit in the future, but the players, again, aren't picking it. Like, Tonali didn't, he didn't go there because of that. Even guys who do go there because of that,
right,
they're still wearing that badge. So it's complicated. That's the thing. I mean, and that's, I totally understand sports washing, and it's not hard to figure out why people do it. It's obvious. But it doesn't have to ruin your memories either. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's fair to expect that it does, or that it should.
Yeah, and look, it's is it a Qatari group? No, it's they're from Bahrain, but it's it's and no, it's not Qatar either, but it's just, I don't know. It just feels. I don't know.
That's fine, but wait and see what happens. Like, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, I get the mixed feelings. I get it. I totally understand it. We talked about this with Newcastle. I'm sure we'll be talking about it with, whoever's next. I'm sure, that's why the Ricketts family got out of it with Chelsea, because that wasn't going to work because of bigger problems. Whoever gets Chelsea, I'm sure there's something that, you can point to. Maybe it's not the same level, but there's something.
Right.
Whatever the next one is, there'll be something. We got a World Cup coming up in November, December that, I'm not going to boycott. I'm not going to act like it doesn't exist. I don't think that's reasonable, but I'm going to hate that it exists the way that it does.
Yeah.
And, when it comes up as part of the conversation, and I'm not going to force it into every conversation, because I don't think that's fair to the teams and the players who are there and are participating, and it might be the biggest moment in their sporting lives, and they didn't choose this. So, I don't think it's fair to completely intertwine it. But if they wanted attention, they should get attention for buying the World Cup. And they should get attention on all the things that they probably don't want the attention for there. They want it over here. Yep. No, they got attention. Give them attention. Talk about it. But I'm not going to do that at the expense of the players and the teams involved and all that. Right. There's not a right way and a wrong way. And I think it's unfair for anybody to say that there is. It's, we all consume this stuff in different ways. We all have different feelings about it. I think as long as your eyes are open and you understand what's going on and you understand the situation and you're not cheering for Roman Abramovich during a moment of silence for Ukraine war victims, because that, I don't even think that's what he would want at all. From the things he said, that doesn't even make any sense. Don't be that stupid. It's tough. Look, it's the world we live in.
Yeah, I'm reminded of the movie Any Given Sunday, right? Where they're talking about they're hitting a rough patch in the season, and Al Pacino's character is talking to his defensive coordinator, who's Jim Brown, right? And Jim Brown has this great moment where he talks about, I think at the end of the season I'm just going to walk away and maybe go coach high school where where the kids just want to play and just have fun, right? And I find myself as I get older looking more and more to lower division teams where it's less about, oh God, we got to make top 4, or it's, doomsday for us.
There's more of an innocence, you think, that's attached?
I don't think there's an innocence, because I think any sort of, I know enough people who've been professional athletes to know that innocence is gone so very quickly.
Man, working a lower division team, I had checks bounce.
Yeah.
So, it might be different. Yeah. And the owner bounced checks, did spend some time in jail down the road. Yeah. So, I'm just saying.
But I'm thinking that it's, there's just something about the big time. It's so big now. And I think that the big time athletics contributes to so much tribalism in general that it's hard. It's getting harder for me as I get older to maintain the level of enthusiasm. And I think it's also because it's harder for me to be where I was previously, because it's, we're not happy with the results. Okay, go spend another $300 million on some players or whatever. But
it's different.
The old days, there's no. What was the stat that we posted in the in on our production thread about the number of players who came through the academy system and are playing on?
In Italy, they are the only of the big. We talked about it this morning on the show and talked about the amount of minutes that academy graduates have played as a percentage. And you've got 3 clubs in Spain, 1, 2, and 3. One of them is Athletic Club Bilbao, and we know their history. They only play Basque players, so you absolutely better be developing your own players.
Yep.
But Italy is the only of the big 5 leagues that had 3 teams that had 0 academy graduates. 0. They're the only of the big 5 that had 3 teams that have no homegrown players.
Right. And
there's 2 in England, by the way, so don't get too smug over there. England. Brentford and Watford. What y'all doing? There's 2 in Germany as well.
Yep. But
Leverkusen and Union Berlin.
It's just, when I went to the Catania game.
Who are the three in Italy? I'm assuming you don't have the article up.
I don't have the article in front of me.
Who are the three in Italy who do not have a player who is club trained? And their definition is someone who's been at the club for at least 3 years between their 15th and 21st birthdays. 3 Italian clubs that have had none this season.
Yeah, it is kind of soulless. It is soulless.
Take a guess. Who are the 3?
Juventus had they had at least one player, didn't they?
Juventus is not on the list.
Okay. Sassuolo?
Nope, they are not on the list.
That was a stupid pick. I don't know why I just said Sassuolo because they're known for developing youth.
One is everybody's new darlings, or not even that new. Maybe refurbished darlings.
Venezia.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
They haven't developed anybody.
No.
Udinese and Bologna are the other 2.
Bologna is a bit shocking. But
geez, out of 40 leagues in terms of percentage of minutes played by club-trained players during this season, out of 40 leagues, Serie A, 38th.
Yes.
Phew.
I'm guessing, Saudi Arabia's got to be 40.
I don't know. I don't know what the 40 are. Oh, no, here we go. I think we can get it.
Probably Russia.
So let me get to the second page. If it goes to the second page, yes. The leagues below it are Turkey and Greece.
Yeah. Okay.
Look,
MLS isn't much higher than Serie A. That's disappointing. They're ahead of Cyprus, though.
Right, but here's the thing, though, is that when have MLS academies really started taking root?
The last few years across the league, yeah.
Across the league,
you got your Minnesotas and you got your Orlandos who hadn't done jack.
Right, but there was a time when the Milan Primavera was good and stacked with talent, and no, they've really kind of cut the pipeline there. Juve has talent for days. Why did they have talent for days? Because they put these little mini academies all over the country and feed people up.
2 players, 2.6% of their minutes, club-trained players, right. Juve.
And Allegri
they're the worst of the big 5.
Yeah, and Allegri has said, I don't want kids to come up here at 18 and play. They need to go to Serie Serie B, cut their teeth there, and then come up like the apprenticeship system. And fundamentally, that's one of the issues that Italy has in general. They don't trust youth players.
Well, Juve being here stupid, because, and this is something they point out in the Football Italia article, they're the only Italian first division club with a U23 team in the 3rd tier. Mm-hmm. They're the only one. Mm-hmm. And that was supposed to prepare young players.
Right.
Max Allegri, ain't happening.
No, because it's the catch-22, right? Like, well, we need you to have experience. Okay, well, I need to do the job to have experience. You know, and when you take these younger players and you put them down in Serie, they're learning a lot of bad habits. You know, because either one, they're so damn good that they blow the doors off everyone, and so then they're like, oh, I can coast, or they are not learning the game the right way, because if the managers were any damn good, they would be in Serie B, Serie A. And so by the time that they get brought up and put on first team rosters, they're like 25, 26. Yeah. You can't sell them. And you can't make money. And if you're a league that needs desperately to make money, what's the fastest way to do it? Player transfers.
Yep.
And it's an absolute disaster. And I think of Luca Maro, and he was somebody who was, he came through Padova and then got loaned to Catania, played exceptionally well at Catania, and then had his rights sold to Sassuolo. And when Catania went bankrupt, then he's now on his way to Sassuolo. But thank God he's there, because they may actually give him minutes and let him play, as opposed to someone else, like even God bless him, Milan, trotting out two geriatric strikers and not, where's the digging up of the youth, man? Find young players who can create and not only create, great moments for your club, but also have some sort of, I don't know, some ties where there's this organic growth. When we see players for Atlanta United who come from the academy, work their way up through the twos, and then come on to the first team, it's like, wow, okay. It showcases that there's an organizational structure that has its act together. When all you do is source your players from your rivals, like Juve does, it says that you have no clue what you're doing down below the first team. You have no clue how to develop.
You need to be somewhere in the sweet spot, because the number one league in the world at playing homegrown club-trained players, which one do you think it is?
Argentina.
Yes.
In the world? Yeah.
In the world. It's Argentina. It's Colombia second. And the reason why is they have to sell those guys quickly. They got to sell them at like 18, 19, 20. They got to bring in the revenue. So they'll play kids because they don't have a choice. And you lose that middle generation. You don't have as many top guys who are in there like 24 to 28 because they're all gone. You'll get like your best players are teenagers and 35-year-olds who have come back from Europe.
Right.
You want to be somewhere in the middle. Like La Liga is the best of the big five. They're at 17%, 17th place out of this 40. It's a little surprising. The one that's ahead of Italy in terms of the big five is the Bundesliga. They're fourth out of the big five leagues. At only 9.9%, but you're able to bring in guys and you're able to bring in young guys. So like you're bringing in young talent,
right? They're
not club trained, but you're investing in youth. So it's a little bit different. Italy's not doing that. They're
not doing that at all.
They're just signing guys.
When Juve signing Weston McKennie was a scandal. I mean, it was
what?
Not only are you signing a young player, but you're signing a young American. Like, what in God's name are you doing?
Genoa has the most minutes played by homegrown players. Roma is the highest ranking of the big clubs, 14.1%. Milan is second with 7.3% of the big clubs. Napoli 6%. Inter only 3.5%. Juve at 2.6%.
Right. And, And I go back to thinking about Sicily with where my cousin's son plays. He plays for an Atalanta academy team in Sicily, right? For a team in Bergamo, right? In the north, outside of Milan. And, but it really goes to showcase the problems of soccer in Italy to begin with, where that kid should, like, Emanuele should be coming up and playing for Syracuse and helping to bolster the Syracuse squad. And when that team, when he develops, okay, then you sell him to a team in maybe Serie B or, a team on Serie A that's going to stash him. But it's income for your club. The model is not sustainable for Italian soccer at all. It's at a death spiral because you have to flush out the olds. But you have somebody like Pirlo who has this sort of radical approach to playing young players. My God in heaven.
Crazy.
And he gets thrown out, like forced out. So
I love in Argentina how you can have a forward line at Lanús of a 20-year-old and a 40-year-old.
Yep.
And I love it.
Pepe Sand is not going anywhere.
Nowhere. Nowhere. Pulga, get healthy, come back. And
you got to get Pulga healthy. He
get him
scored
healthy,
another golazo, but then he gets hurt.
Yeah.
But it's this is the problem with the big clubs is that, and I'm sorry. I know people will be like, well, just why don't you go watch like Bundesliga or
no, it's different.
It's hard for me.
And that's the thing. Like I do push back when people like get maybe a little too hipster about it. And it's like, there's nothing good about these games. No, look, tomorrow or this week with Champions League and Manchester City and Real Madrid, that's going to be wonderful.
It's going to be a great game.
It's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
It's two of the biggest clubs in the world. They can spend all they want. but it's going to be a great game. Like, we'll be talking about it. We'll be talking about it a lot. Right. Like, that's okay. And, if you loved Leeds and Crystal Palace today, good on you. That's cool. That's fine. Whatever you enjoy. Right. But you can enjoy lower division or in this country, high school, college, NPSL. You can enjoy that stuff alongside it.
Right.
And I think the thing about it for me is, like, when I go in to call a game, whether it's a Atlanta United game or a high school game, I don't act differently in the way I call it. It's a game. And it could be a boring game. It could be a frustrating game. It could be an amazing game. It could see something I've never seen before at any level. And whatever works for you. But I'm not of the mind that some are of, like, oh, lower division soccer is bad. There's nothing good about it. No, that's not true. There's great stories. There's great emotion. There's great players. There's great everything in it. And I'm also not of the mind that, everything about the big game, the big teams is not good. No, that's not true either. There's great stuff there too. It's just they're almost like in different universes.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's okay to acknowledge that, that the vibe has changed. It's okay to say, I used to come to this
more
bar
narrow
all the time,
now.
And
it's far more narrow now in terms of how you compete. That's definitely changed.
It is. And, and with the Catania game, the atmosphere was incredible. The atmosphere was nuts. The play was actually pretty damn good, considering where they were in the table. And you couldn't tell anybody there that Catania was going to be dead and gone in a couple of months. No, you couldn't. They didn't care. They were there like a full throat, screaming, yelling, giving the ref all of the business. It was an incredible experience
because it was theirs. It was their experience,
and it was theirs. And I think that's something that that event really made me start to look at lower division ball in a different way. Because I was one of those snobs who was like, I don't care about lower division ball. Right. But because I was like, I don't want to go somewhere and, be bored, have a dead crowd and have essentially, because I can, if I want to watch caveman ball, I can watch Juve for 47 minutes before I fall asleep. But that game in Catania really made me open my eyes and say, maybe we need to start giving some lower division ball a chance, because you're not really running into a lot of the problematic nation state ownership that you're getting elsewhere. And, they play, they have a youth development system because it's financially stable and because it's a smart thing to do. So, it's causing me to look more at things like Tormenta and to look more at Hailstorm and to U.S.
Northern
Open Cup.
Colorado Hailstorm.
Those kits also are, very nice. But to look at some of these
I think you said some of the magic words. He disappeared again. What is Jarrett doing?
Wow, he double clutched off the open music.
He's done it a couple times now.
Yeah, we know what's going on. He's in Publix and he went over by the frozen food section and lost signal.
Probably.
It's like, oh, what is that? Stove? Yes, Tormenta. See, I want to get down and I want to cover Tormenta and I want to cover Red Wolves and some of these other clubs and
Greenville and DSL and
Greenville
and App FC and Asheville City and I love going to the smaller environments in the lower divisions.
I love both. I love all of it. Like, that's the thing is, like, I love the big environments at Mercedes-Benz and the big environments at different places. I loved the atmosphere yesterday in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. Oh my God. I loved the drums throughout the game. I loved it. Yes, they threw a bunch of streamers all over the field at the beginning. That's fine. I don't care. I loved the vibe in Fort Lauderdale.
And Turner, the cup sets. The cup sets were hilarious.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I love this from our man's Gustavo. Sometimes I go to watch Club Atletico
Acasuso.
That is the club it's the club I grew up in northern Buenos Aires. I was young, and my dad didn't want to go to southern Buenos Aires to watch Independiente. Look, again, watching it. Let me go back. When I worked at NCAA.com, we went to go cover Beanpot up in.
Beanpot. That is a must. That is a bucket list item. I've been there.
Here we go.
No, I'm
Hockey
serious.
down
No,
here
serious.
now.
No, he's 100% right on this.
I know.
Yeah, it is the best. It is the best, most exciting hockey I've ever seen in my life. Right now, while we were up there, we covered Berklee College of Music.
Oh, there you go.
And Berklee College of Music had a hockey team. And we're like, oh, come on, man. And so I'm like, all right, they give me this address. I go out to this address, and I show up there, and these kids, I can't lie, these kids were moving. These kids were skating, and they had some ability.
So you're saying they were hitting all the right notes?
They were hitting all the right notes. And, the guy.
Evening Bandit.
And when we were interviewing, they said, look, everybody comes out here because they want to watch BC play BU or Northeastern or Harvard. But the kid said, man, you need to understand that some of these smaller schools, man, we can absolutely, we can shoot some stick. And anybody who wants to step on the ice with us any given time, we will give them a game. And that kind of sat with me for a minute. Like, man, this kid was kind of nuts. But he was right that you can't look down on lower division, smaller schools, smaller teams, as these cup sets are proving. Sleep for 2 minutes and these teams will beat you, and they will grab you by the throat, and it's going to be too late by then. You can be done for. And so this, thanks to Catania, it has me with a renewed interest in U.S. Open Cup that I wouldn't have had otherwise. A legitimate turning. Good God, is he out of the frozen food section now?
I
think so because he hasn't dropped multiple times.
Turner,
let's find out.
Turner, is he here? He's here. Okay, and yeah, Turner, I understand anything about the site design. With a little backroom baseball, and this is pretty much guarantee I'll never work at Turner again. When they were first debuting NCAA.com, it was in dev, and they called us up, all the content producers, and they were like, all right, we want you guys to come and look at the website, okay, and come take a look at this and its functionality. And a man by the name of Dwayne Cross, who will forever be, he's an amazing baseball writer, and he was in charge of the print side of the written word side of NCAA.com. We were on the video side, and he said they went through the whole thing, and Dwayne looked at that guy right in the eyes and said, "This website looks like hammered blank, a hammered poop," and that guy's eyes got about this big. He's like, who in God's name is actually going to use this site like you guys are talking about? Nobody. It's terrible. It's not good. It's not going to work. I got other things I have to do. So, and that was it. And then after that, it was done, man. He was out the door, and that site hasn't changed since. So if you don't like it, I promise you, no one else does either. Even the people who watched it be built didn't like the site. So with that, I turn the floor over. Welcome, Jared. I hope you're out of the frozen food section.
I was never in the frozen food section.
That's a lie.
Fabrication.
No, I'm going to explain something that I think only Nick will understand. As a fellow parent.
Yeah.
Your kid ever gotten a book at bedtime that's the only book they want to read for the next 2 months of their life?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's where we're at right now.
What's the book?
Little Fox and the Wild Imagination. But it's one of these wonder books where the book will read itself to you, and then have a learning mode afterward where you flip a switch and then it starts asking like critical questions of the book, and the kid can answer questions about what was your favorite part, why did you like this part, what kind of voice would you use, do you want to write a book, stuff like that.
Yep.
So bedtime has turned into ninth grade literature all over again.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. Yeah. So my son, Jackie Fresh, for a while he was into pout fish, and Coco saying his daughter was into pout fish as well. Charlotte is more, the Duchess is more into, she likes Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type, and God, what's a couple of other ones?
Yes, Alex, the game has absolutely changed, and the book does read to me now.
Yeah.
Although the book does do like this 5-second pause for you to change the page, because I don't know who needs 5 seconds, 5 legitimate, a 5 Mississippi count to change a page. I don't know who needs to do that unless you're juggling chainsaws and have to stop to change the page.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Steam Train Dream Train is another one.
That's a good one.
Because if it's a 100-page book, you're talking about another added 8 minutes just in gap time from turning pages.
Yeah, the one we've been on was Heartwood Hotel. There are 4 of those, and we've been through all of them, and now we're on the second one, but it got hijacked by this little fox in the wild imagination. And the only reason she wanted to read this is because WBUR Boston, the NPR station up there, does a podcast series called Circle Round.
Yes.
Where they do, Ivy is all about life. Like has the Circle Round T-shirt, has like the coloring pages, the coloring book, the notepad. She like gets excited every Tuesday for the new episode. And Yorma Taccone was on there and mentioned the book. She's like, I want to read that book. Well, that's the book I'm reading every night for the rest of my existence.
For those of you who have young kids, Circle Round is a must subscribe.
Circle Round is a game changer.
Game changer. All of your podcatchers, right? You can put it on there, and it is WBUR Boston. They get Hollywood stars to come on and read. Who was it? Catherine Hahn was on one, and she was
the dragon one. Oh, it's amazing. It's hilarious.
Yes, Stella and the Dragon. And then there was which was another one. They had oh my God, who he was on Firefly / Serenity. He was the pilot on Leaf on the Wind.
Yeah.
He was the voice for K2SO on Rogue One as well. He does Coyote's Wild Ride, which is how the coyote ends up with the black markings on it. So it's an amazing podcast. Yes, it's kids down here. So
Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk. Yeah, he does one, and he does this like hilarious redneck coyote character. So it's all good. But yeah, it's a must. Yeah, and yes, I completely understand, Jared. And Badgerman, yes, Frankenstein 17, fantastic read. Mary Shelley knew it was up. Knew what time it was.
Very nice. Out there. That Alex, yes, that's kind of correct. But we can talk about wrestling if you want.
Yeah, because SummerSlam's coming up this weekend.
Here we go.
No, it's not.
I thought it was.
No, it's not.
Oh, well, then the return of Becky Lynch is tonight. That we know. And
SummerSlam's in like July or August, John.
Oh, well, then they're coming back
in Nashville.
Okay, so they're in like Nashville tonight or in Tennessee tonight, and they're promoting SummerSlam in Nashville. So that's what it is.
Yeah. Now, Jackie Fresh is into wrestling now. He's a huge WWE fan.
But he's got to go back. He's got to go back, and he's got to get into AEW.
Oh, don't be it. There goes John being a hipster and a hater.
He doesn't like it.
The new stuff isn't very good anymore. There's great stuff in the new stuff, too. Don't even be that guy.
Well, I like what AEW's doing with their writing. It's just the writing with the WWE.
There's stuff on WWE that's good, too. That Kevin Patrick guy is brilliant.
Kevin Patrick is amazing.
That is without question.
Brilliant.
And he is a huge Roman Reigns. He's a huge Roman Reigns guy, and he is Jackie Fresh.
Reigns
and he's also he loves of course the RKO out of nowhere. He's a huge fan of the
as
RKO.
You should. It's his 20th anniversary
of Randy Orton, yes.
And he lost his mind at WrestleMania when Stone Cold came out because all he's been seeing are clips on YouTube.
He should have.
He's like, he just did that to his boss. He just did that to his boss. I'm like, buddy, you have no idea. Let me tell you about the 90s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jackie Fresh, if you're listening, you can enjoy whatever wrestling you want to enjoy. Don't listen to John.
That's right.
Number 1.
That's right.
All right. We got a bunch of stuff to scroll through here before we get into picks of the week. Jared, are you actually going to participate in picks of the week this time around?
Or are you going to go into the frozen food section again?
Sure, I'll participate.
Should we do this now before we have any interruptions? Before we cover anything
No,
else?
I'll survive.
Okay, we will bounce quickly because we spent a lot of time in Italy and we spent a little bit of time in England. So we will bounce through the big topics. FC Barcelona women's team, amazing. They beat the snot out of Wolfsburg 5-1. Drew 91,648 people, following up on the 91,553 that showed up to see them play Madrid in the quarterfinals. This is the semifinals. They're probably going to go through. And this team's just awesome to watch. It's definitely highly recommended. And it's very cool to see them building on this. Now, Wolfsburg is selling a bunch of tickets for the second leg. You're getting other teams around Europe selling a bunch of tickets. But you want to see good soccer right now and good soccer in the way that I would define it anyway. Barcelona's women might be playing some of the best soccer you'll find. Good soccer. I think it'll be really interesting soccer tomorrow in the Champions League. Manchester City hosting Real Madrid in the first leg. Carlo Ancelotti is about to set a historical mark when Real Madrid wins La Liga, which they've all but done. He will have then won titles in all of the big 5 European leagues. Is Carlo Ancelotti underrated, Nick?
He's been overrated since minute 1.
Underrated or overrated?
Under.
I'm saying underrated. You said overrated.
Yeah.
I was making
sure. He's underrated. He is
underrated.
Clinically underrated since like minute 1. And because, say, oh, he's not this brilliant tactician. Look, the man's a brilliant tactician because he takes whatever is handed to him and somehow makes something magic happen. And, and again, his autobiography is a must read.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Must read. Especially when he talks about giving the middle finger to some fans because they were insulting Tortellini. He's like, I wasn't, they called him like a tortellini eating bastard or something. And he gave him the middle finger and he said, wow. I feel the need to clarify that I'm not giving them the middle finger because of what they called me, but because they were insulting Tortellini. I mean, he's great. He's an all-time character.
He is a little concerned, though. Casemiro, David Alaba, both not 100%. They're making the trip. They're going to do a training session to see if they're going to be ready to play. If they're not able to play, Camavinga and Nacho are going to step in. Both have been good lately, so that shouldn't make a huge difference. Real Madrid is a plus 550 to get a win in Manchester. Jarrett, what do you think about that? Frickin' Real Madrid.
I know, but it's also Manchester, and you just kind of keep. How many times will the football be put down before Lucy doesn't pull it away in time?
How defensive will Real Madrid be in this? Because they've pulled that card in the knockout ties here in the first leg away, and it served them well. I don't know. The draw at plus 375 is very intriguing, by the way.
Yes, it is.
That's
very intriguing.
We will see about that.
If Carlo just needs a result, he's going to get the result.
Yeah, he'll do.
Come hell or high water.
And it's the first leg, so I mean, really, even if he keeps it tight, he's okay in that second leg. I mean, they're going to have all the confidence in the world if it's close. Right. Second leg in Madrid, so interesting. Going to be a really interesting game between those two. In Germany, Bayern Munich, 10th consecutive Bundesliga title. 12-point lead with 3 games left. I mean, are we surprised? No, not at all. No. Thomas Müller has become the first player to win 11 Bundesliga titles. Oof.
Everybody else step up.
Yeah, I mean, it's yes. Don't sell your best players to Bayern. I know that doesn't happen all the time. That's a little bit of an overplayed.
The same thing happened
gimmick,
in Italy. People selling their players to Juve.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it's not as prevalent as it maybe was, but I keep wondering, and look, we'll see what Leipzig does now after their return to roots didn't work, and we'll see what they end up doing going forward. they've got the kind of resources that I think could compete if they keep a team together. Dortmund can't keep a team together long enough to compete and to grow into it. And I don't know if that's going to change. So 32 league titles overall, 10 straight for Bayern. I don't know when that changes.
Yeah.
No, not for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing. Napoli could be looking for a new manager, Luciano Spalletti, after their collapse here late. He is on the outs, on the brink, and reportedly, Napoli have already sounded out Vincenzo Italiano and Roberto De Zerbi. Italiano. Hold on. Go ahead, Nick.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Italiano joined Fiorentina last year. He's going to get them into Europe, it looks like. And De Zerbi is under contract to Shakhtar, and he's back in Italy after the invasion of Ukraine.
One, Napoli may be looking for a new owner because Bari just made Serie B and De Laurentiis owns both clubs. And if they are able to get up to Serie A, he's got to sell one of them.
He's got to pick one.
And really, if Bari would be the easier fixer-upper from a stadium standpoint, far fewer hurdles to jump. And, De Laurentiis has kind of grown a bit disenfranchised with the city of Naples and its inability to come to an agreement for him to get the stadium, the Stadio Diego Maradona, in a position where it can be like remotely modernized. Italiano, I know he may want out of Florence because Camiso, I think, is extraordinarily difficult to work for. But I would caution him on not jumping at the Napoli gig.
It's not an easy job.
No, it's not an easy job. De Laurentiis makes the job infinitely harder than it should be, and they're going into a Ritoro now at Napoli because
kind of sorta. I think they've tweaked it. It's not quite full lockdown.
Yeah, because somebody got the De Laurentiis and like, you're not going to help anything with this. It's not 1987.
Yeah,
it's
that's why Carlo left.
Yeah, because Carlo said the same thing. Like, dude, you can't lock these dudes down at the training facility like we used to. You can't do it. And De Laurentiis wants things done his way on, exactly as he sees fit. He's the one, whose name is on the check, so I guess he has the right to do that. But if I'm Italiano, I stay at Fiorentina for now. And
De Zerbi's in a different situation. I mean, if he gets a chance to leave and he has another job to go to, and there's no telling what's next for Shakhtar, that one I get. Yeah. That one I can get, and wouldn't be surprised. I still wonder when Fonseca is going to get a job. I mean, he's got to get one here at some point. He
needs to, but
surprised his name hasn't come up.
And in Italy, I think it's going to be because his time at Roma was
unfairly judged.
People with common sense would say that he overperformed with the squad handed to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are people in Italy who look at that and say, okay, we need somebody who can essentially turn water into wine. And he was able to make Roma competitive, but I don't think it's what we need. And, what's the cost going to be on that? I don't know if he's going to get that shot in Italy, and who would, which gig is he going to take? If it were there, which one would he want?
We'll see where he ends up. If you're looking for ridiculousness this evening, you might want to go to this game in Brazil. It's the only game in the Brasileiro right now. It's drunk. You got a goalkeeper right now for one team praying. He had some kind of beads out, praying on a penalty. You've got the referee going over. He's showing a yellow card.
Rosary. He had the rosary going?
I think he had the rosary out. I'm not 100% certain. It was just dangling from his goalkeeper gloves. They called a penalty 27 minutes ago, and now they're finally going over to the monitor to take a look at it.
Pacing themselves. Good.
The game's drunken madness. Avai had a 4th minute goal. They had a 26th minute red card for a pretty horrendous stamping incident. Then they scored 2 more with 10, so they were up 3-0. Now Goyas has scored 1 in the 76th, and they've had this penalty called for about 27 minutes, but now it's being reviewed. It was a weird penalty initially, and he's still giving it, and everybody's mad. Everybody's mad. Avai's mad. They're chasing the referee down the field. They'll probably cut back to the Goyas goalkeeper, who will be praying once again. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. So you might want to watch this.
Yes.
Penalty is about to be taken, finally. Okay, a couple more things before we get into picks of the week. Spain, we have a new Copa del Rey winner. It is Real Betis. First time since 2005. They won in penalties over Valencia. Yunus Musa, he missed his penalty. Juan Miranda had the decisive penalty for Betis. Please, somebody tell Joaquin to put clothes on when taking pictures with the trophy. It's the second time that he's won the Copa del Rey, and he's posed with it naked. Just what he's done. Put some clothes on, dude.
That's your thing, but please.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. First time Manuel Pellegrini has lifted a trophy since the League Cup final, the Gummy Bear Cup with Manchester City in 2016.
Manuel Pellegrini, wow.
Yeah. Goyas converts the penalty, so we are in for a frantic finish in Brazil. Buckle up. Barcelona lost 3 straight home matches in the same season for the first time ever.
Mm-hmm.
They lost 1-0 to Rayo Vallecano. I mean, it's all over the map for Barcelona these days, but they are in second. 63 points, better goal differential than Sevilla, who's also on 63. Oh, yeah, no, they went on an incredible run under Xavi, and it's come back to earth a bit. Atleti's in fourth on 61. Barca has a 6-point cushion with 5 to play on staying in a Champions League spot. I think they'll do it. I think. Not going to make any wild proclamations, but I think. No, I think they will. Okay. I'm pretty sure they will. Okay. Christian Pulisic, late winner for Chelsea in England. What do you think about that, John?
Woo!
It's your league. Why are you under? It's Captain America.
I know it is Captain America.
Why are you underselling it? You were excited about Crystal Palace and Leeds earlier.
Chelsea has won 2 of their last 3 now, 65 points. They have a match in hand. So if they win the match in hand, they'll have an 8-point advantage in theory over Arsenal. Should still be number 3, but the fight, I think, is going to be for 4th.
What's going on in the EFL? Like drunken madness like usual?
You're getting to the point where you're figuring out who's staying,
Oh, big diving save. This game's crazy. Sorry, it's the 90th minute.
It's quite all right. Please continue to interrupt if there are more.
I will. Goyas has a penalty. No, they have a corner. Sorry, not a penalty.
There you go.
They might give another penalty here in a minute. It'll take 57 minutes this time.
Yes.
It's actually a penalty.
But right now, we know the 3 teams in the championship that are relegated, Peterborough, Derby, and Barnsley, just as Reading, are safe. Fulham, they've clinched one of the automatic promotion spots, but now you have pretty much the teams from, say, 2 through 9 figuring out where they're going to be when it comes to the championship. Bournemouth right now, they're ahead of Huddersfield by 2 when it comes to the second automatic promotion spot, but then Huddersfield has to look over their shoulder for the folks that could get the first home match in the 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you basically everybody from 3 through 9 or 2 through 9 are in play in figuring out what's going on in the championship. League One quickly. We know who's more relegated than we do who's advancing, because that's another logjam in and of itself. You've got folks basically 1 through 7 still trying to figure it out with positioning. Crew is relegated. And
are they relegated or mostly relegated?
No, Crew is relegated. They're at 29 points with 1 match to play, so they can't get any higher than 32. You've got 4
teams. Another corner.
You got 4 teams chasing after 3 spots at the bottom of the relegation fight in League One. Then in League Two, it is absolute drunken madness, where you have basically pretty much everybody from 1 through 11.
This game's going to end in a riot. Sorry. Go ahead.
Absolutely. No. But basically 1 through 11 chasing after stuff in League Two. Oldham and Scunthorpe have been relegated to the National League. And last week, since we talked about Scunthorpe And their 75-year run in the top flight, they've been outdone. Oldham, after 115 years in the Football League, they are out, and they're also the first team that ever spent time in the Premier League to now be in the National League.
When were they in the Premier League last? Like
year
definitely
90s. Like year 1 and 2, I think.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a big fall.
Yeah. And the fans hate their owner, who's owned them for 4 years, and they had a sit-in protest at the last match, and the stadium had to be cleared with 15 minutes to go. Then they brought they brought the players back after a 90-minute delay, played and finished in front of an open stadium. And so BBC's got a really good write-up about how Oldham Athletic has gone in the last handful of years under the Lemsagam family ownership.
They went what?
What was that again?
Okay. Somehow Goyas has got a free kick. There's 8 minutes of stoppage. This thing is madness.
Of course there are.
Goyas low bridged the guy. I thought the Avai guys were about to run onto the field from the bench, and somehow there's a free kick. And that guy was not 10 yards away, and the referee is not happy about his actions.
Not happy.
He is running all the way across. And a yellow card to you. Everybody has a yellow card. I got a yellow card for watching it. Serie B, Nick,
John, that's a Post-it note, not a yellow card.
It's the closest thing I had, sir.
Serie B is.
I'm going to send you a yellow card, like a proper yellow card to keep at your desk.
Cool. That'd be awesome.
Serie B is also drunken madness. You've got 10 teams separated by 10 points at the top. No, 8 teams separated by 10. Nice. Lecce and Cremonese right now are in the automatic spots, and then you get into the ridiculous game of musical chairs that is a promotional playoff.
Yeah, the quantum physics for the
we will try to explain it when we get there. There's 2 games left in Serie B before you get into drunken street fight action.
Mm-hmm.
Monza is trying to avoid the drunken street fight, but with 2 games left, they're 2 points behind Cremonese.
Yeah, I think they're going to do it.
Yeah, that's bad. And speaking of teams that have had a fall, Spal, who was in Serie A not that long ago, is in 15th. They look like they will avoid falling into the relegation pit fight, which is also part of the Italian lore. But they have a 3-point cushion with 2 games left to avoid falling into that.
We practically invented the industrialized pit fight. So, I mean.
Yeah, it's bad. It's very, very bad. France, PSG, they won the league. Messi scored a golazo. Okay. And since they've won the league, now the talk is Pochettino, you're about to get sent out of here.
Mm-hmm.
There were rumors on El Chiringuito that Leonardo was going to get sent out of there, but he's talking about, I trust Kylian Mbappe when he says he's thinking about his future. So who knows what's going on. Leonardo
Why
thinks
would you
they're going to
keep
sign
Leonardo
Mbappe.
at this point?
I don't know. They think they're going to sign Mbappe. I guess if they do that, maybe he gets to stay.
I don't know. Look, you gotta get him out of there. He's not. I don't think he's really. He's the architect of this whole thing,
That's bad.
and you have essentially one of what should be, if it were FIFA, this would be one of the greatest FIFA teams assembled. And
that was a nice nutmeg. Sorry.
And you have what? Nothing to show for it. Bunch of you're like the one McMansion, in the apartment complex. Like you're in a McMansion surrounded by an apartment complex. That's.
When did we start talking about Scotland?
Yeah,
there's 2 McMansions there. Yeah. One of them is newer than the other one.
Both of those McMansions, compared to everyone else, might as well be McMansions bought at the beginning of the year 2007.
Yeah. Well, the Rangers one, they bought it after that, I think.
Yeah, but it ain't magical compared to everybody else's McMansion.
It's a free kick in the middle third now, and the goalkeeper for Goyas has come up. I don't think he still has he didn't even take why did he come up to midfield? He didn't take the free kick. That was stupid. And the guy tries to hit a half volley and puts it off the ambulance.
Oh, that's
still 2 minutes left.
Maybe you get a big teddy bear if you hit the ambulance with a free kick.
Maybe. Jarrett, here's one for you. In France, our story of the week. We might need to get a sponsor for this.
Yeah. Right.
The FFF Disciplinary Commission has inflicted a 10-point deduction on Canet. Canet. Am I anywhere in the ballpark of pronunciation? French.
Well, here's the thing, Badgermon. I get, Poach got booed. Must be nice to take league championships for granted. I get UCL frustration, but come on,
it is their first league title in 2 years.
Look, at some point, when your collection of league titles has gotten to be at a certain level, your spending is at a certain level. I think if Pochettino had gotten into the final of the Champions League, I think he is probably having a very different conversation right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But you it's not just Pochettino's fault. Let me be 100% clear, because old Tommy Tuchel was able to.
They're about to fight again.
Oh, yeah, good. There you go. They've had some people who've left PSG done pretty well for themselves.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Unai Emery would like to say hello.
Yeah. So you can point to Pochettino all you want, but he's going to take the fall for this. Organizationally, they're a disaster zone, and they have to clean house and start over. Yeah. They have to clean house and start over. And that means Pochettino's got to be, he's got to be part of it. And Coco comes in and says, it's PSG's fault that no one else, in that league wants to win it. The rest of France has a tremendous issue, just like Italy does. There's not a lot of teams that are capable of spending
the end of this game madness
at any sort of sustainable level in order to compete with PSG, right? I mean, Lille was able to put together a great run. They had some great players, but then they had to sell them all off, right? And yes, FIFA Ultimate Team isn't real life. I think you and I are probably in more agreement than you probably realize, but they've assembled a team like FIFA Ultimate Team, and they still weren't able to. They got the exact same results, So if that's happening, and you've watched managers that were previously under your employment leave and have amazing success, and you're still stuck where you are, it's time to tear the whole thing down and to rebuild it up.
There's a dude wearing a Thrasher skateboarding shirt in the stands. Sorry.
Bring back the thrash.
I didn't see that
coming
in Brazil.
Oh, man. I vividly remember the Thrasher Skate and Destroy demo that came with the PS
Skater
magazine.
Die.
Yeah, well, actually, that was Thrasher Skate or Destroy was what they called it. I think they had to temper it a bit because of the audience. Well,
they used to have Skater Die. Skater Die was cooler.
Yeah, the game was the demo was one level where you would skate around to Stetsasonics Talking All That Jazz, which is a highly underrated classic.
Good stuff.
And then at the end of it, when the time would run out, it would switch to first-person view of a cop chasing you with a taser, and you had to escape the skate park.
Okay. Nice.
Skate or die, bro.
Nice. Goyas was not able to come back on 10-man Avaí, but Elvis did score the penalty in the 88th minute. I love Brazilian names.
Apparently, Santa Cruz, remember the old Santa Cruz shirts when we were younger? Those are back now.
No, they are?
Yeah.
Cool. Is Pac-Sun
everything
coming
from
back?
when we were younger is Pac.
Pac-Sun needs to come back. I liked Pac-Sun.
No,
for like
Pac-Sun
a year there.
Come back.
Yeah, it can come back. Structure.
Puka shell necklaces, is that?
No, I didn't get into that. That wasn't my thing.
So what was your story for Jarrett?
Yeah, Jarrett, the ridiculous story of the week, brought to you by Jarrett Smith. Or I'm just telling you about it, but maybe we'll have a sponsor for it down the road. So in France, the disciplinary commission has inflicted a 10-point deduction on the 4th tier Canet RFC. They falsely declared cases of COVID. They were trying to avoid facing Le Puy Foot back in February. They were short on players at the time. They had declared 4 cases of flu within the team as COVID, which at the time would have allowed for the match to be postponed. The FFF's medical team picked up on the potential fraud when inspecting the medical certificates that were submitted, handed it over to the disciplinary commission, and as a result, Canet has been 10 points taken off their table. Le Puy Foot has been handed the 3 points for the game. They're going to move up to third in the division. Canet decided not to appeal it. They've recognized their error. Duh. They're hit with a €1,000 fine for a fourth division French team. That's probably a lot.
Yeah.
And one of its co-presidents has been banned for the next 3 years.
Wow.
What do you think about French justice, Jared?
I think you've stunned him.
What the? France, look me in the eye.
Canet.
Oh!
Look me in the eye, France.
Oh, jeez.
Get it together. I demand better from you.
Mm.
I don't demand a lot, but I demand better from you.
Bans.
Faking COVID failures.
That's pretty bad.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
Look, I don't want to play Le Puy Foot either.
Look, I faked being sick to get out of math tests in middle school. We all did.
That's true.
Don't fake COVID failures because you're afraid of getting absolutely curb stomped off the park.
Curb stomped by Le Puy Foot.
Le Puy.
Like getting curb stomped by something that sounds like the second cousin twice removed from Pepe Le Pew.
True. It's Pepe Le Pew's club.
That's
where
call,
he was
you have
developed
faked your
there.
COVID. We are finding you. You will play Le Puy anyway.
Oh, no, they're not gonna let him play.
None of that's okay. None
We
of
just
that's
got to
okay, man. None of that's okay, France. Just France, stop doing French things. How about that?
Man.
Don't stop doing it. How are you afraid to play Le Puy?
Le Puy Foot.
There's got to be something there, man.
Why are you afraid? Why?
Honestly, I wonder if it came down to funding. I wonder if they had money issues and like, well, we cannot afford to do this, so we are going to literally not do it.
They were short on players at the time, is what it says. Maybe they had like injuries and other things happening.
You call Pierre. You call.
They didn't get the certificates done right. They were flu and they weren't COVID, and they said they were COVID, and that got them out of it, but they did not. French justice prevailed.
Look,
French justice prevailed is a sentence I haven't heard since they put a death mask on Napoleon Bonaparte's face.
It's true.
Turner's correct. You take the Ferris Bueller advice.
No.
Fake a stomach cramp and lick your palms.
Look, it's not even a stomach cramp. You have to get really, like, grody with it. Like, you have to call it Le Puy de Foot and be like,
Le Puy Foot.
Hey, guys, half our team is currently having their lower intestines, like, emptying out like an airlock on a sci-fi movie. So you don't want this. And typically, if you get that nasty with it, like it's guys, the team bathroom. What is it? What does it smell like, Pierre? What does it smell like?
Like you hear a faucet running, and it's like the continual.
Yeah. Pierre says it sounds like someone's butchering a goat in the bathroom. So
somebody's butchering.
You don't want it. Just trust me, you don't want it. We'll see you next week.
You do not want any of this, trust
us. You don't want this. No. It smells so terrible. It smells like they butcher a cow like 3 hours, like 3 months dead in the bathroom. You don't want these, okay? No, you don't. No. You got to get stanky with it. You got to get stanky with it.
Speaking of getting stanky with it, Nick, I'm just going to advise that you don't go look at the highlights out of Serie B today. Where Parma ended up giving up a goal.
Yeah, saw that.
And Gianluigi Buffon, it's sad. Don't watch it.
It's time, bro.
Don't watch it.
It's time. I've already watched it.
We already saw it.
Just send him to live on a farm and chase squirrels. You send him upstate. He can chase squirrels and
can he go play in Chicago with Chiellini?
No.
They got guys.
Okay, we talked about. Okay, no, we talked about this last week. Chiellini in ML. Do you want to see a center back who competed for World Cups and won Euro glory? Do you want to see that center back getting absolutely dusted by Jackson Conway on a 15-yard sprint?
Yes, I want to see it.
Absolutely.
Nick, tell me that wouldn't happen. That Jackson Conway is not going to absolutely blow him out of the water.
Let it happen.
Jarrett, you could outrun him to the snack bar.
To be fair, I have a huge stride.
It's true, but you're not.
I'll shoot that as a TikTok.
Let
That's fair.
You couldn't find the TikTok app, John. Don't lie.
I'll shoot it on somebody else's TikTok.
No.
That's
I
don't think anyone's going to hand you their TikTok control.
No,
I
don't think
that's also.
I want him. I want that to happen. I want him to sit there. I want Nosferatu to watch Jackson Conway blow the doors off him and be like, "I should have stopped years ago. I should have not been taking up roster spots years ago."
Finalissima, Nick. Finalissima.
And look,
Yeah,
God bless
it's bad.
Gigi Buffon. Yep, Juve legend. I don't give a blank. I will always be indebted to him for 2006. However, he's also a control your narrative guy. And when they didn't qualify, you lost the ability to control your narrative. So what are you going to do? You're mad because Chesney's taking your spot? So you go where? Parma? You're going to resurrect Parma?
Yes.
Right? In your 40s, you're going to resurrect Parma?
Yes.
No, you're not. You're not. Stop it.
He's not. He's not gonna
And when you're getting dusted by Serie B guys, walk away. Walk away.
When you whiff in Serie B.
he needs to go into the office and be like, "Guys, it was really good. I love you all forever. I would like to become a minority owner in the team. And here's €1 million, and I'm going to go be a brand ambassador for Exor and Juve, and I will see you guys later." Like today, he needs to do that.
If you're looking for another game to watch since the madness in Brazil is over, before we get into picks of the week, you've got 3 options on Fanati's, fntz.co/soccer down here. You got 2 games in the Copa de la Liga in Argentina. Huracan is up 2-0 on Aldosivi on the road in the 39th minute. Argentinos Juniors and Sarmiento scoreless in the 38th minute. You can also opt for chaos and go to Guatemala and watch on Tigo Sports. Comunicaciones hosting Solola, who I've never heard of. And I've heard of most of these teams. Never heard of them. Solola. They're facing Comunicaciones, though.
The answer, Coco, by the way, for Austin Riley is as much money as he wants on that 10-year deal. Our thick Memphis King can get whatever he wants financially.
Alex Vecine knows nothing about Aldosivi or Huracan. Huracan has one of the most iconic stadiums in
I'll bet you
Argentina,
El
but not
Mataflo
like
could coach him up in like 5 minutes.
Probably Gustavo could for sure.
Oh yeah. Which I mean, and because I came in just when y'all were talking about like that whole thing where Gustavo talking about his dad taking him to games because he didn't want to go all the way to Independiente. It's the reason my dad has a extreme hatred for Mississippi State football because he's an LSU fan, which is why I grew up an LSU fan. My grandfather graduated from Mississippi State with an engineering degree. He drug my dad to Starkville every Saturday, every fall, from Jackson, Mississippi to Starkville to watch that team lose in the 60s and 70s. The man to this day hates Mississippi State because he was dragged to watch them play.
Oof. I mean, that's valid.
Yeah, and you have to sit there and listen to those cowbells.
Man, this guy for Solola, he had to avoid the gigantic like stuffed Pepsi can near the corner. He couldn't take a normal corner because of a stupid inflatable Pepsi can.
The cowbells are why I don't ever want to hear a damn word about vuvuzelas. Y'all don't know shit.
I'll take cowbells over vuvuzelas. I'm sorry.
Well,
all day, every day. I'll take a cowbell.
That's what I'm getting at, man. I mean,
I'll
like,
take it over the vuvuzela.
That's what I'm getting at. People complain vuvuzelas are the worst thing ever. Like, have you ever been to a Mississippi State game?
I'll take the cowbells over the vuvuzelas.
Rushingly loud.
What?
Better than vuvuzelas.
You know
you're
what?
sitting next to it.
Oh, it's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're sitting next to either one, you hate life.
You got someone shoving like deep fried Oreos and Twinkies in their
That
face.
has nothing to do.
Nonstop?
That has nothing to do with the vuvuzela or the cowbell. That's a whole different aspect of the experience.
But yes, it's bad. Hail State. Hail State.
Yes,
Hail State. No, no.
But I mean, my whole thing is like everyone got mad about the vuvuzelas in South Africa.
Yep.
And y'all know shit. Like bring the World Cup here, play a game in Stark Vegas, and have like, please just record the reactions of every English player, pundit, fan, announcer, as there's trust me, those Mississippi State fans, they are physically capable of ringing that cowbell. That wrist strength is out of this world. They can ring that cowbell for 90 minutes, I promise you.
Carpal tunnel.
You don't
by
know
the age of
what
25.
punishment is until you've had to listen to it.
Well, I had to go to the person who took over for Dr. James Andrews because I got carpal tunnel from ringing that.
Nick, it's Clanger tunnel syndrome.
Clanger tunnel. I was ringing that bell nonstop, and my wrist can't even move no more. It calcified, is what they said. It calcified on over.
Yes, Ricky.
Solo Lodge just calcified, and Comunicaciones just scored.
Damn. Good Lord.
That Pepsi can's calcified in the corner.
I agree. Soccer for good, OG. I agree. Well played, Vuvuzelas. Popping. What happens is what usually you get tourists trying to be cool.
Oh, they're
and they blow it up.
Yeah, that's just stupid.
Hey,
Solo La's dead last.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah. They are worse than Nueva Concepcion, by the way.
That's not good.
And they're even more worse than Celaju.
I like old Concepcion, not Nueva Concepcion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gelaju, I like. Gelaju has played in Atlanta before.
Yeah.
Gelaju, I think, played the Silverbacks.
Yeah, I think that's right. I remember that. But Solo La has only won 2 of their first 18 matches in the Clausura in the Liga Nacional.
Not very good. Maybe we'll pick a Solo La game.
What's the one? Is there one SEC stadium that could not hold a World Cup game?
That could not? Like, why could they not? Why could they
Maybe
not?
Vandy.
Feel like field dimension.
No, most of them couldn't because of that.
Yeah, they're not wide enough.
Yeah. Vandy couldn't. Kentucky couldn't. Georgia couldn't. You'd have to take the hedges out.
Yeah, that would be.
I ain't doing that again, I don't think.
Yeah. Auburn, you don't take the hedge out.
I don't think anywhere you could, honestly. I don't think there's anywhere that you could without doing significant changes. But if you did want to make England play in Paulson Stadium, I'd be okay with that, Turner.
I want you to take England to College Station.
Oh, jeez.
Actually, wouldn't fit there either because of the recent renovations.
Oh,
yeah, that's just they'll have their own problems when we get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that is it.
Report.
If there is one, if there is one.
Oh no, it's not.
If there is one group of boosters in the Southeastern Conference that would be willing to spend whatever illegitimate and illegal and ill-begot money that they had to bring in a World Cup game, it would be Texas A&M.
Yeah,
they would. They'd probably think it would help them in the SEC standings or something.
They would do it. They wouldn't even do it for the SEC standings. They would do it for the people in Austin, who they are definitely not ever rivals with, and you will be burned in hell if you tell them that they have a rival in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, they would do it just to say we had it and you didn't. Ha ha ha.
Mm-hmm.
Millions of dollars set on fire just to tell Austin, we got it and you didn't.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
we hosted Cameroon and the United Arab Emirates and you didn't.
Yeah,
that's right.
And we gave the quitter another contract extension.
You're
again the really underwhelming
down here.
Again, the really underwhelming early 2000s, late 90s movie Cats versus Dogs with the CGI cats dogs fighting.
Yep.
The whole thing hinges on the family getting kidnapped because they lure the kid and his parents to a game with tickets to a friendly between Uruguay and Chad. That's how easy it was.
That's absurd. Rumors and innuendo, speaking of absurd. Robert Lewandowski, he described his current contractual situation at Bayern as, quote, not that easy for me. Is Lewandowski at Bayern next season, John?
Yes.
Nick?
No.
Jarrett?
No.
I'm kind of thinking no. Erling Haaland moving to the Premier League this summer wouldn't come as a complete surprise, quote, from Borussia Dortmund director Michael Zorc, who I think at one point called it bullish, all the talk about Erling Haaland.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a lot of things to say. He seems a little resigned to this now. That wouldn't come as a complete surprise to us now. Does Haaland go to Manchester City, Jarrett?
No, because he's going to go to Bayern to replace Lewandowski.
Nah, they don't have the money. Nick?
Yes.
John?
No, but hey, Il Chiringuito saw him in Monaco, so there could be a reunion in Monaco.
A reunion in Monaco?
Mm-hmm.
What's that supposed to mean?
I think Jardim, they were saying that he'd go to Monaco and play. That's what
somebody on El Chiringuito actually said that he would go to Monaco and play. Has that person been committed?
Wait, hold on. Who owns
What
Monaco?
year is it? Last time that happened was when Monaco had Falcao, and they spent that 1 year spending a ton of money and nothing happened.
El Chiringuito needs to be canceled for that kind of talk. That's absurd.
I thought they were owned by an oligarch.
Yeah, but they're not. Nobody's going to Monaco.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
Chiringuito had video of him in Monaco. They were thinking
he was probably like gambling or something, or who knows what Erling Haaland does in his spare time. I don't know. He's a monster. He could be doing all kinds of crazy-ish.
Absolutely.
He ain't playing for Monaco.
Mm-mm.
Solo lost goalkeeper.
Was it one of those where they had like the 7-hour dramatic pause with the?
It was black. It was black and white Zapruder film. Like that.
Guys, like I can
black and white telephoto lens from across
in Monte Carlo.
I can tell you from. Well, we have to do it right. The good source.
Exactly. Yeah.
Haaland is going to go.
Yes.
To Monaco. Dun, 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 dun. I mean,
morons.
Exactly.
Morons. El Chiringuito is about to get into 3-letter and 4-letter territory. It's bad. Other rumor and innuendo for our Newcastle fans out there, Lucas Paqueta has been linked to Newcastle, Brazilian international. He is at Lyon. He told Lyon he'll make a decision on his future at the end of the season. Okay. Real Betis trying to sign Isco from Real Madrid. I like Isco, and he's 30 years old. And MLS, if you want to go get somebody that would be ridiculous and still have plenty to give, I think, go sign Isco. Somebody go get Isco. That'd be amazing. Mm-hmm. Roma in the race for Paulo Dybala. How you feel about that, Nick?
He's not going to stay at Juve. So previously it was Inter has their own.
Everybody's linked at some point.
Yeah. They have money problems. Milan's name has been surfaced with the takeover. Roma would make sense. I'd like to see him. I could see him there.
Okay.
See that work out.
Frenkie de Jong, according to Sport in Barcelona, is the number one target of Erik ten Hag to bring him from Barca to Manchester United. Barca doesn't want to sell him, but Barca also could really use that cash.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably have some 16-year-old in the academy who could do the role.
Yeah. You mean the flexibility provided by having a robust academy system?
It's crazy, ain't it?
Wild.
Crazy. Wild. They could sell him for a lot of money. Mm-hmm. We'll see about that. Jarrett, this one's in your wheelhouse. Roy Keane has emerged as a surprise candidate for the vacant manager's position at Hibs.
Cabbage, I say.
Roy Keane, Jarrett. What do you think about that?
Keane.
Hibs is doing the same thing that Aberdeen did this year. They just did it on a different timeline where they tried something. They fired a manager early in the season. They brought in Sean Maloney, then fired Sean Maloney last week. And man, whatever. Roy Keane, do you want go do that? That's fine, dude. Whatever floats your boat.
He probably shouldn't do that, right?
Man, you know what? I'm not going to tell you about Roy Keane. I'm not going to tell you not to put your hand on the furnace. I'm going to let you know that you should not put your hand on the furnace, and that if you do, you will suffer the consequences you should already know.
Hibs is the furnace? Is that what you're trying to say?
Hibs is the furnace.
They're cabbage.
Because the first time they have a Hibsing, which is Hibsing is basically what
Clemsoning.
Spursing.
Sorry, Turner. For the Clemsoning reference, falconing. It's a falconing. The first time that happens, and he wants to put hands on somebody, man, it's gonna get weird. First time he loses to Hearts in Edinburgh, it's gonna get weird. Sure, Roy Keane.
Roy Keane might fight his way out of that.
Oh, absolutely.
That would at least be entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ange Postecoglou has already shown the willingness to fight basically everyone who is a journalist in Glasgow, so I guess Roy Keane doing the same Edinburgh just creates equality.
Sure, might as well. I'm down. I'd be entertained at least. Just nonstop fighting. Antonio Rudiger has reached a verbal agreement with Real Madrid. It's pretty much done, it sounds like. It's just not done, but it's mostly done. It's pretty much done. So no real surprise there. Chelsea can't sign
He's
anybody
not totally
right now.
dead. He's just mostly dead.
He's mostly gone.
He's extremely.
Solo Law should have just scored, but they were offside. I'm very angry. I want them to pull an upset here. No, but yeah, he's not there yet. He's not quite there yet. All right, you want to get into picks of the week?
Hit it.
Let's do it.
Okay, Jarrett, you did not participate, but you can watch along.
Oh, I'm going to make comments the whole time. They're going to be snarky.
That's no surprise. All right, here we go. Tuesday, the Miami FC hosted Inter Miami. I picked the Miami FC, and you let me down, jerks. John and the Twitch pitch picked a draw. You're both wrong.
Yep.
Nick picked Inter Miami and got it correct. Straight
Pink
out
kits,
the gate.
baby. Pink kits.
Straight out of the gate. 185 on the board. Wednesday, Orlando City hosted the Tampa Bay Rowdies. John and the Twitch pitch picked the Rowdies. Nick picked the draw. I picked Orlando City, and it really pained me to do it, but they won.
Mm-hmm.
They were minus 550, but they won.
There you go.
So I got like a little bit of something.
Like
a little bit.
12
I got
cents.
I got $18 on top of my 100 back juice boxes. Thursday, BG Patham United, the Tactical Bunny in the AFC Champions League against United City FC, the most generic team in the history
Shout
of
out
teams.
City, baby.
5-0 for BG Patham United. Everybody picked the Tactical Bunny. Winners. Friday, Colón hosted Estudiantes. Nick and John picked Colón. Twitch Pitch and I picked Estudiantes. We're all wrong. It was a draw. Saturday, Portland hosted RSL. Myself, Nick, Twitch Pitch, all picked Portland at home. John picked a draw. Shocker. He got it right. So that put John at 228, and it put Nick at 3, and the Twitch pitch at 282 negative, and me at 64 negative. Sunday, the Diamond Boys versus the Gem Boys. No, what was it? The Glamour Boys. Sorry, the Gem Boys versus the Glamour Boys. The Gem Boys were Manica Diamonds in Zimbabwe. The Glamour Boys were Dynamos. John and I picked the Gem Boys. We were wrong. Twitch Pitch picked a draw. Wrong again. Nick picked the Glamour Boys. And they won. It came good for him. That put him to 198. John was at 128. I was minus 164. Twitch Pitch minus 382. The prop bet was cup sets in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. And we have a goal for Solo La.
Nice.
Awesome.
All I know is I didn't get the prop bet, so I think it's Nick.
So, cup sets out of the 22 games, the Twitch Pitch and I picked 3. We almost had it. John picked 7. Forget it. No, we're close.
I had 3 that were close.
I blame Northern Colorado Hailstorm because that was the last cup set that made it 5, and Nick picked 5, and Nick secured his win.
It's not easy to talk trash after the performance last week. I can't really do that. But what I can do is let everybody know that if you're down and you're experiencing hard times, what you need to understand is that it is possible for you to rise off the mat like The Undertaker, just like I did this week, okay, when everybody was counting me out, all right, and that jabroni over there, all right, and that beautiful green and gold jersey.
Hey, I'd won 2 in a row.
Was talking trash to me.
You went minus 600.
But what he needs to do is hit his own mute button for a minute because the week's champion is talking. Okay,
John, you better stop laughing over there. All right,
I was the guy who got the World Series prop bet on the nose. I'm the guy who got the cup set on the nose. Understand? Hey, bad times don't last. Bad guys do. Okay. One more for the good guys.
You pulled into a 3-way tie for the season lead. John's got 2 wins. I've got 2 wins. I'd won 2 in a row. Nick's got 2 wins now. Jarrett's got a win, even though he's only played 2 or 3 times because he usually
That's called
has
efficiency.
Yes.
No, it's being scared. You're like Canet.
Got a good batting average.
You're like Canet in France.
I'm the Lenny Harris of this event.
Yeah,
just coming off the bench and just swatting home
you're,
runs.
You're the Ken Oberfeld.
Actually, that would.
We'll just call you 3010 from now on.
You're coming up with COVID excuses not to participate.
It would be Matt Stairs. Matt Stairs is the proper example here because Matt Stairs still has the major league record for pinch hit home runs.
The World Series prop bet, Turner's asking, that was what, the number of runs scored over the 3 games?
I think so.
And I got it on the nose. I nailed it.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It was like pulling up. It was pulling up from the logo.
It was absurd. We should take that away for Yankees fans throwing crap on the field, joining the Mondays with morons section of the show.
Yes.
Good grief.
That was
idiots.
Stupid. There was a part of me that was like, okay, the bleacher creatures are back. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, that's really stupid. Because they used to fight with each other.
Yeah, fight each other.
If you never went to Old Yankee, you would sit there, especially during those midday summer games.
Oh.
It was, oh my God, the Old Yankee, the bleachers were just baking. And so you had 2 groups that would start challenging each other. And then you had... It was like in the movies with the 2 armies and that one arrow gets launched. You would see one solo beer get launched through the air. And then it was like in the massive beer fight. And beers even back then at Yankee Stadium, not cheap. So it was a beautiful thing when you actually got to see, when the normal folks and the broke folks could actually afford to go to a Yankees game. Then when they built new Yankee, they priced everyone except the corporations out. And so there was a part of me that was like, okay, I'm glad to see a little bit of hooliganism returning to Yankee. But aim it at each other, not the players. That's stupid. No. Just aim it. And this is from someone who watched kids throw batteries at Ken Griffey Jr. So screw you, Ken Griffey Jr. Launching AA batteries. I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Moron.
It's
well,
Ken Griffey Jr.
It could have been like Bat Day at Fulton County Stadium or
morons.
Where they finally waited until you were leaving before they gave you the bat.
Smart.
Was it Disco Demolition?
Oh, yeah. The seat cushion day at Fulton County where all the seat cushions just got whizzed down on the field.
Yeah, Toronto ended that one. 4Card is trying to declare independence from the Twitch Pitch team. That's not how it works, 4Card.
The Independent Republic of 4Card?
No, it's not how it works. I'm not good. Last time I said anything about the Twitch Pitch, it almost caused a meltdown. So I'm not going to say anything about it. Y'all know where you ranked. I mean, it's been a minute. All right, just y'all figure it out. I don't know what's going on, but 4Card's trying to declare independence.
My goodness,
madness. All right, so the way this works, Nick's got 2 picks. Twitch Pitch. That should tell you not to say anything about the Twitch. But Ricky, you got problems in your house, man. You got problems in your own house. You got to figure it out.
While the Twitch Pitch is sorting out
inside the house,
the breakaway republic of 4Card. I'm going to go get a celebratory Chianti really quick. I'll be right back.
Oh, wow.
4Card makes a good point. Also, shout out to the Yankees for intentionally walking Miguel Cabrera because they didn't want him to set a record against them.
That was ridiculous.
Petty. I love it. Petty. You ain't getting it here.
You know why? You know why? Because they're still salty about 2003 when a 19-year-old, probably inebriated Miguel Cabrera contributed to a World Series title with the Florida Marlins over the New York Yankees. Because have we ever seen a top of the lineup as beautiful as Juan Pierre and Luis Castillo setting the damn table?
No, never. I can't keep up with who the captain of the Twitch Pitch is anymore, Ricky. I forgot that it's Coco now. So it's Coco's house, but it was your house, and and 4Card wants his own house, and it's madness. And I hope the records get better. That's all I'm saying. I hope they do. John and Jarrett, you guys are going to talk amongst yourselves for a minute because Nick has a good idea about a beverage. I'm not celebrating anything that Nick did, but I'm going to.
What can you celebrate? You didn't win.
I'm going to get a beverage, maybe because I need it, because I had 1-2 in a row, and I'm tired, Jarrett. You haven't played the last few weeks. Choke on that.
Wow.
See, the smart thing to do is to actually keep your child's beverage right by where you are.
Well,
you don't have that problem.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I mean, sitting here.
There's a lot of backwash here. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, no, but sitting here in Office HD, traditionally on Monday nights, I'll go through one of these. And that's, everybody's looking at me going, dude, you're drinking water? And I'm like, yeah, I'm drinking water. Yeah. Now, the carbonated stuff, that happens on the morning show. We have to balance it out,
I think Four Card has been kicked out of the. Has been kicked out of
Four Card just got sent to Four Card just got sent to Etna.
What? Yeah, he did. Four Card has been told to leave by Ricky.
Jeez.
Four Card has been jettisoned, apparently.
Man,
he is. But you know what's going to happen here. This is tricky though because Four Card is pretty. Four Card is very. Four Card is very high on my list of people who could get isolated and sent to that island, escape the island, and build a resistance movement to come back and retake power.
Wow.
Lothaba, this show's about MLS sometimes. It's about the Zimbabwe First Division as well sometimes.
Yes.
It's also
about whatever we want it to be.
Champions League.
Yes.
I apologize in advance if you're stumbling into this and trying to figure it out.
You're stumbling into the Monday night show, which is probably the worst one to stumble into.
Yeah.
Also the best.
This is the picks of the week, though, and it can be fun. It can be ridiculous. What happens next? Because Nick is our champion. Vox Populi on the board there. So he is the champion. He gets to pick of 2 days. He gets to pick 2 games for our picks of the week. We pick a game from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Twitch pitch, which is everybody watching, they get a collective team that has a lot of like internal fighting these days. They've changed captain a couple times.
Four Card's going to pick his own picks away
Four Card's
from Ricky.
Going to make his own picks, and if they're better than the Twitch pitch, oh boy.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, we're going to see a civil war. We're going to tell our kids about this.
We've seen it. It's bad.
Already here.
Anyway.
Also, Nick, as the champion, gets to veto somebody's pick if he so chooses.
Yes.
And we have a prop bet at the end. And Jarrett, since you didn't show up last time, you get to pick the prop bet when we get there. Okay. You missed that new rule. If you finish last.
Oh, I can already tell you what I want the prop bet to be.
All right. Well, Nick can veto that if he hasn't used his veto already.
You want it now, Nick?
No.
To quote the great director Werner Herzog, "Happy New Year, losers."
Jeez.
Do you want the prop bet now or later?
We'll wait. Later. I have learned my lesson with vetoes. I am very judicious with the veto.
Yes.
Very judicious with the veto.
Yes.
All right. Let's see where this thing goes.
Let's roll.
All right. Tuesday on the board, we've got Champions League, of course. Manchester City hosting Real Madrid. We have Libertadores in CONMEBOL. We've got Estudiantes de La Plata hosting Red Bull Bragantino. We got Vélez hosting Nacional of Uruguay. We have got Independiente del Valle hosting Atlético Mineiro. The champions of Ecuador hosting the champions of Brazil in group stage action. Oh, John wants that one.
John wants that one.
What did John pick again?
Independiente del Valle hosting Atlético Mineiro
in Copa Libertadores, 8:30 Eastern.
Right.
We are a show that is global in scope.
Yes.
And as a result of this, I would love to bring forth this wonderful game.
All right, so IDV is a plus 220. They are a home dog. The draw is 210, and Atlético Mineiro is plus 140, according to the Juice Box purveyors. These teams last played in 2016 in Libertadores, and they split. The game in Ecuador, though, Independiente del Valle did win 3-2. IDV comes into this with 2 out of 3 wins in their last 3 in the Ecuador Liga Pro. They went to Delfín and won and finished with 9. Okay. They hosted Cuenca and they won 2-0. Cuenca finished with 10. There's a lot of red cards in Ecuador these days, it seems like. But IDV, back-to-back wins coming into this. Atletico Mineiro. So the Brasileiro has just started. They have won one and drawn one. They won their Copa do Brasil match against Brasilense, which who knows what level they're at. They drew with the other team from Mineiro, America Mineiro, their last time out in the Libertadores. So in the table right now, they've played 2 games in Libertadores. Both of these teams are on 4 points with a win and a draw. Tolima and America Mineiro are on 1 point. So the group, there's all to play for. Jarrett, what are you picking?
Give me the draw.
Jarrett picks a draw. Okay. Who was next?
It'd be you, wouldn't
I think it is me. Yes, it was me. I am going to pick IDV at home. John.
Atletico Mineiro on the road as a favorite.
Modifo.
Even perfect time.
Just remember that. Nick, what you got?
Well, easy. Let's talk. We've already discussed Italy. Italy's my jurisdiction, but we do literally every league gets covered here. Like
it's absurd.
Every we're talking like if you want to, Central African Republic maybe covered one, and then it's Cameroon the next. Like you never know. It's all up in the air. Give me. Who are you picking? This is a good game, sneaky good game, and well done, John. Well done. Independiente del Valle, please.
All right. Yeah, I'm going IDV. 4Card is also picking IDV in his unofficial contest.
Yes.
Do you remember the story of the guy
that the breakaway contest?
Well, there's a story that a guy bought an old radio tower out in the middle of the Atlantic.
I do not remember the story.
Yeah, he bought this old. It was like an old observation tower that was an old rig that got turned into a radio tower, and he tried to declare it as its own country.
Okay.
I want to say it was like the UK. The UK was like, no, that's not how any of this works.
Yeah, I have no idea how that's supposed to happen.
There's this rusted, dilapidated radio tower in the middle of the ocean. It was one of the weirdest stories I can remember. But the guy rolled up on it and was like, maritime law, it's mine. And everyone's like, it's rusted and essentially a sitting tetanus dump. Have fun.
Yeah.
Everything was cool till he was like, yeah, it's my own country. And then they're like, no.
I am not comparing 4Card to that guy.
No.
Maybe the tactics similar, but I'm not going to compare 4Card to that guy.
The breakaway republic of 4Card is a unique and powerful entity in its own right.
Maybe so. We'll see how they pick. Wednesday, Liverpool hosting Villarreal in Champions League. We got 3 games in Serie A. Bologna hosting Inter, Atalanta hosting Torino, Fiorentina hosting Udinese. We've got Libertadores action, Colo-Colo hosting River Plate. We've got the strongest hosting Caracas.
Still one of the greatest names.
Yes. We've got Emelec hosting Palmeiras. We have Copa Sudamericana going. We have great value River Plate on the road at Cuiabá in Brazil. It's Club Atlético River Plate, and they're in Uruguay. We have Universidad Católica de Ecuador hosting Banfield and Eric Lopez. We have CONCACAF Champions League, Leg 1. Pumas hosting the Seattle Sounders.
Yep, there we go.
Jarrett? Yes.
Burn it.
All right.
Burn it.
Pumas sold out stadium hosting Seattle. Leg 1 of the CONCACAF Champions League. Pumas minus 133. Draw 240. Seattle to win on the road plus 375. I do not believe these teams have ever played in competitive action. Did they play in Leagues Cup? Did they play in Leagues Cup last year?
Sounds right.
I think SofaScore does not recognize Leagues Cup as official. It's okay. Soon enough. Pumas have lost their last 2 in Liga MX coming into this. They lost in Guadalajara to Chivas over the weekend. They lost at Atlético de San Luis. They beat Monterrey on April 17th. Seattle, well, It's the same story. They lost in San Jose 4-3 in a drunken, ridiculous game.
Oof.
And they lost at home to Miami the week before that. I do not know how to feel about this game at all because both teams come into this limping. And I got to pick first. I'll go with the home team, Pumas. I don't like it. But, yeah, I think they win narrowly. John?
No Danilo, no win. Draw.
John, you're picking a draw because you pick a draw. Don't come up with a lame excuse.
We don't have the drop ready?
I don't have the sounder ready. You can just do it live action.
Is anybody
facendo?
Sorry.
Surprised by this?
No.
There you go.
Nick, what are you picking?
Pumas.
Jarrett.
Seattle.
On the road, or are you drunk?
Scared money don't make money.
It still can be stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Seattle played Tigres, Santos Laguna, and León.
Okay, no, they didn't play Pumason. So they've never played Pumas in an official match.
Yeah, Pumas and León were the other semifinal in the tournament.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
Thursday, we got Europa League, Rangers at Leipzig, West Ham hosting Eintracht Frankfurt. We got Europa Conference League, Feyenoord hosting Marseille, and Leicester hosting Roma. We got the Prem, Manchester United hosting Chelsea. We got Libertadores, Club Always Ready. That's their name. They're from Bolivia. They're hosting Deportivo Cali. We got Colón with no Pulga Rodriguez on the road at Olimpia. We got Universidad Católica of Chile hosting Flamengo. We have Jorge Wilstermann hosting Sao Paulo. We got Defensa y Justicia.
Defensa y Justicia!
Hosting Liga de Quito.
There it is.
That's a good game. I don't know if that's where it is because, man, you got Rangers and Leipzig. You got Leicester and Roma. You got Manchester United and Chelsea.
No. I want, give me Always Ready and Deportivo Cali.
Club Always Ready in Bolivia hosting Deportivo Cali. Club Always Ready. There's probably a sister operation somewhere in South Florida for Club Always Ready.
Or not as ready?
No, not at all like that. But anyway, I'm going to leave that alone because that could get out of hand. Deportivo Cali, their sister operation. Anyway, I'll leave that one alone too because that gets out of hand as well. Club Always Ready, minus 137. 280 on the draw. And Deportivo Cali, 350. Have they ever played before? Nope, they have not. Club Always Ready. Well, they have not been ready lately.
Hold up, Ricky Ricardo. What do you mean Deportivo Cali is playing in East Central Florida in a couple months?
Yeah, they're playing in. They are playing at Daytona Speedway. Daytona Soccer Fest.
Well,
Nick,
I have a 9 to 5, man. What do you want me to do? I'm still in depression over Serie A not coming through for the World Cup.
July 4th
tournament.
weekend.
they ain't coming. Ain't happening.
I know. I'm depressed.
So Club Always Ready has not been ready for a while now. They last won in Bolivia on April 8th, where they beat Universitario de Vinto 6-2. Since then, they lost at Boca 2-0. They drew with Independiente Petrolero. They lost 5-1 to Royal Parisión.
Man.
And then they drew at Real Tomayapo. But they're favored by a lot. Deportivo Cali, not ready either.
Wow.
They beat Boca on April 5th. They've also been very busy since then. They drew at home to Junior. They lost in Brazil to Corinthians in Libertadores. They lost in the Copa Colombia to Fortaleza CEIF. I don't even know what level they're at. They are in the second division. So they lost to a second division team. Then they came back into the league and they lost to Rio Negro Águilas Doradas. That's a lot of names.
Hey.
All of them beat Deportivo Cali. So both teams stink coming into this. And everybody in the group through 2 games, Deportivo Cali, Boca, Corinthians, always ready, all on 3 points. Madness. John, what are you picking?
I'm going to go with always ready. You got to snap a losing streak somewhere. So I think that they will be ready for this one. They may not be always ready, but they'll be ready for this one. So always ready with the win.
Okay. Nick?
I'm going to do the John Nelson special and say draw.
At plus 275, yeah.
Jarrett?
Number.
Always ready.
This is a tricky one because of the Bolivia factor. They are playing Club Always Ready plays in a place, or at least this game is going to be played at the stadium Estadio Municipal de El Alto. El Alto is the second largest city in Bolivia.
Mm-hmm.
It's adjacent to La Paz. It's probably very, very high up in the elevation.
Yeah.
It's called El Alto. Duh. It is the highest international airport in South America.
That's going to be a scary-ass landing.
Yeah, well, I'd like to talk to you about the landing we had in Atlanta yesterday. But anyway, I'll skip that part. Man, that's just like boom, 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 boom.
Oh, so it was a pilot landing.
It was something, Nick. It was something.
They have automated landings and they have pilot landings, the pilots have to
brake masher.
Once in a while.
No, it wasn't a brake masher, John, because you came straight down on top of the runway.
Oh, it was like a combat landing then.
It was like
cannonball.
Boom.
So it was like a launch pad in DuckTales.
So we were when we were flying into Iraq, we were on a 130, and we're cruising along. It was cold as hell on the plane. Everybody has their sea bags, right? The big long green bags, right? That you see people
duffels,
like in the duffels. So we're in body armor and everything. We have the bags, and we're all asleep. And the Air Force guys don't tell us what's coming. And so when we get over the base at Al Assad, they were like, "All right." You could just tell, like the pilot was just like, "Yep, it's time." And because to keep AAA from hitting us, they had to put the plane into a nosedive. And I'm not talking about like a gentle, I'm talking like they stand the thing up on its nose, and all of us wake up out of a dead sleep. Like the engines are screaming. The guys are hanging onto the cargo net, the Air Force guys cracking up laughing because we're all like, "Oh my God, So, and they, in the last minute, God bless it, the pilot's like, "Yeah, boom, boom." And but that back end, the ass into that plane slams right onto the tarmac. Man, I thought we were all everybody on that plane out that was not an Air Force person. We're all like, yeah, we're all going to die. Like they hit us, the plane's going to go down. I feel your pain on the smash landing. It
was not fun. It was the first one of those that I had since we flew into White Plains in 2018.
Oh, that's a terrible airport too.
Yeah, it sucked.
That's the worst airport.
Tata Martino was not happy on that landing. Also, that little, separate sidebar allowed me time to dig into El Alto, Bolivia just a little bit more. It is very, very high, obviously. And they are the proud home of the Fighting Cholitas. The Fighting Cholitas are a group of female wrestlers who perform in El Alto. It is part of a group called the Titans of the Ring. They perform at the Multifunctional Center in El Alto with hundreds of people in the crowd. They generally get paid about $13 a fight.
Here we go.
They are indigenous to Bolivia. They wear braided hair, bowler hats, and multi-layered skirts in the ring when they have their fights. There is a documentary from 2006 called The Fighting Cholitas. It received an honorable mention in short filmmaking at the 2007 Sundance Film Festival.
Nice.
Very cool.
The 04, by the way. Well, 04.
The Fighting Cholitas were also featured in an episode of The Amazing Race. They had to learn and perform a 6-step wrestling routine with a cholita.
Wow.
Well, look, I need YouTube. I need YouTube links.
It's not hard. Fighting Cholitas. There's a documentary. It won an award at Sundance.
All right.
El Alto. They're probably Club Always Ready fans. Jarrett, you picked Club Always Ready. I'm a little afraid of the Cholitas now.
I don't know. See, look.
I made my decision.
It is on YouTube. It is on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Lathaba, I don't know if Lathaba's still in here, but I mean, like, this is the stuff that you're going to get on this show.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That you're not going to get anywhere else.
No.
There's no one on Talk Sport who's covering this. There's no one on Rai who's covering this.
No.
There's no one on 7 Gold who's covering this. Only here.
I'm picking a draw because I think both these teams are kind of crap right now. And I think crap versus crap equals draw.
Crap, yeah.
No, draw, not crap. It might be an entertaining draw, but I'm going to say crap.
Kind of like Columbus and Sporting last weekend.
Peter Vermes did spin around and fall down in that match.
That was glorious.
Peter Vermes.
That's a good pirouette.
If you wanted to have a GIF represent an entire season, that was it.
Yeah, that was it. All right, let's move to Friday.
Friday.
Let's move to Friday. And we've got La Liga.
Well, he's already used his pick, so I mean,
might as well. Sevilla hosting Cadiz. We've got Union Berlin hosting Greuther Fürth. We've got PSG with nothing to play for on the road at Strasbourg. Yes. We've got Necaxa hosting Chivas in Mexico. We got Mazatlan hosting Puebla. We've got Greenville Triumph hosting the Chattanooga Red Wolves. We've got Patronato.
Greenville's going to be pissed. Just putting that out there. Greenville got taken out behind the woodshed by a Tormenta team that just advanced in the U.S. Open Cup and is feeling really froggy about themselves.
We got the first official league match in the NWSL, even though the Challenge Cup is still going on, which is very confusing to try to follow. But it is Angel City hosting the North Carolina Courage. Friday, we also have the Pro League playoffs in Belgium because they are trying to compete with Argentina and Italy in playoff formats that are ridiculous. Genk is hosting Mechelen. We got the championship in England. QPR hosting Sheffield United.
That's a barn burner.
We got second division in the Bundesliga. Werder Bremen hosting Holstein Kiel. We can keep going to Melbourne Victory and Wellington Phoenix in the A-League. Twitch Fits, you got Sunday, by the way, just to remind you. We got the J-League. The J-League's in action. Shimizu S-Pulse is hosting Hiroshima. We got the Canadian Premier League. Are they back? Have they been back, or is this the start of the season, John?
They've been back in a bit of a trickle.
A trickle. They're
You're
trickling.
A global show. Give me the J-League.
You want the J-League? Okay.
Degenerate Gamblers Unite.
Okay. Is this your second pick,
yep.
Nick? Okay. No, okay.
No, I'm giving up Saturday. I'm giving up Serie Glory.
I don't think I'm picking Serie. I'll tell you that much.
I know. But I'm doing this because I want us to be a global show, a true global
get out of hand. So your picks for the J-League, Nick, you've got FC Tokyo hosting Gamba Osaka. Mm-hmm. You've got Kashiwa Reysol hosting Sagan Tosu.
Okay.
You've got the Kashima Antlers on the road at Cerezo Osaka. You've got Kyoto Sanga FC hosting Avispa Fukuoka.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know those teams at all. I think they're new. I mentioned S-Pulse and Hiroshima, and you have Hokkaido Consadole Sapporo hosting Shonen Belmare, or I'm not sure. That's a bunch of games. So let's see what looks like the best in terms of.
Give me the Antlers.
You want the Antlers. The Antlers are where are they?
I have entertainment purposes only if you need them.
I don't need that. I'm trying to figure out the table a little bit. Kashima Antlers are number 2. They have antlers on the crest. It should be easy to pick them out. They're number 2 in the J-League, and they are playing at Cerezo Osaka, who's number 7. So, okay, that's a good game. Let's go with that. All right, 3 a.m. on Friday. Oh, and the odds are interesting, too. So, Cerezo Osaka, the 7th place team, is plus 210. The draw is plus 260. And the Kashima Antlers in second place are a plus 115. So we have another home dog. Okay. Recent games between these two longtime rivals. I think they actually are. The Antlers, last time they went to Osaka, won 3-1. But last time they hosted them in Kashima, they lost 1-0. The road team has won the last 3 games. Keep that in mind.
Ooh.
Cerezo Osaka, 2 draws in their last 2. The J-League Cup is also going on. They had an Osaka derby against Gamba Osaka in a couple days ago. It was a scoreless draw.
That was their last game was the derby?
Yeah, that was the J-League Cup. They drew in league play as well to Fukuoka, and they lost to the Kashima Antlers in the J-League Cup on April 13th. So the Antlers come in. They won their last, I don't know, the J-League Cup. I don't know. This thing could be like the crazy Scottish stuff where you're playing a group stage and you got shootouts, and I have no idea what this thing is. The Kashima Antlers beat Oita Trinita 3-0 on the 23rd. They drew with Nagoya Grampus 8. Gary Lineker played for them. That was scoreless. And then they beat Cerezo Osaka in the J-League Cup before that. But they did draw before, or they did lose before that to the Yokohama Marinos. So they're second, but they're not completely dominant in second place in the J-League table. Only 11 goals in 9 games for Kashima Antlers. Cerezo Osaka has scored 13 in 9 games. So there you go. There's your quick snapshot of what's going on in Japan. Jarrett, what are you picking? Nowhere else. Or no, Nick, you're picking first. Sorry.
I'm picking first.
Pick
it.
Yeah, here's what I know. I know that coming off of a derby, always tough. So I don't like Osaka in this one. It's antlers up. So it's
antlers up, he says. Really? That's what you're going?
Yeah,
make your picks. You disagree? Make your picks. They're there for you.
Jarrett, what are you picking?
You know, at least in Scotland, when they have a deer mascot, they call them the Staggies.
They do. It's true.
You know what? Let's go antlers up. I'll sit with Nick on this train.
Go.
Oh, jeez.
I've never been afraid of death.
That's right.
Perhaps
today is a good day to die.
Is there anybody from the Antlers that I would like to...
I swear to God, if none of you sci-fi nerds got that one, I can't.
Zico is their technical director.
Zico is the technical director of the Antlers?
Uh-huh.
Their best player is named Bueno. He's a center back from Brazil, but he's Bueno.
They have 5 Brazilians on the roster.
Well, it's Zico there. No surprise there.
Nope.
You know, I am picking Cerezo Osaka.
Look at that.
To win at home.
You mean win away?
No, Cerezo Osaka's at home. They're the home dog.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's about right. What are you picking, John?
Antlers up.
Bum. All of you bums. Bums. You're going to be mad when Cerezo Osaka wins.
You a jabroni losing this week.
You're going to be furious. Furious when Cerezo. I won 2 in a row before that, so you pipe down. That's not how it was said. It's 2 in a row. Man.
Diego Patuca, Juan Alano, Everaldo, Bueno, and Arthur Kaike are the 5 Brazilians on the current squad.
Also known as 5 bums.
Antlers up.
Cerezo Osaka's winning. Antlers up. Good grief. All right, I got to pick something from Saturday. I'm not picking England.
Sadly, they do not have gear available for sale on their website.
The Antlers are actually a pretty big club, and they don't have gear. I'm definitely not picking them.
The nuclear rabbits, the nuclear tactical rabbits have gear.
Yeah,
come on.
But we can't export it.
We can find a way, John.
That's what we need to. Oh, that's right. I need to
get on it.
Yeah, I need to send them a note on the Twitters.
Get on it. All right, so I can go a lot of different directions here on Saturday. I do know that Nick has a veto, and I'm a little worried about that. So I got to think like in dual function here. If I go completely off the board, I better have a backup pick and blow his veto. Could go Nueva Chicago and Ramon Santa Marina, second division in Argentina.
That's bait.
Or Deportivo Morón hosting San Telmo. Or Chaco Forever is on the road at Deportivo Mandrin. Chaco Forever. I need Chaco Forever to play Club Always Ready. That would be the greatest match in the history.
Or Almirante Brown.
Sure, that too. Spal and Frosinone.
Oof.
That's bad.
That's
stuff.
a bad game.
That's bad stuff.
As the Italy evangelist, that's a bad game.
That's bad stuff. We do have the AFC Champions League. BG Pathum United hosting the Genoa Dragons.
They're still in league play right now.
Yes,
it's a group play.
Are they? Where are they housed? Are they in Indonesia? Where's the tournament being held? Because aren't they all in one place?
I think it's home. It's home sites in the group stage.
Is it?
Yeah, at least it was for BGPU. They were at home.
I guess they're just not playing league games during this time because they're playing all the time in the AFC Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting really.
There's also a lot of flights.
BGPU's in Thailand. Yeah, BGPU's in Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's right.
I wasn't saying. I was saying like it's a competition being held somewhere because they had to do the qualifiers that way.
Right.
The World Cup qualifiers that way.
Yeah, they had a home match, and I watched the tail end of the home match last time out. It was on site. It was in Thailand.
Okay, cool. So usually we look down to Africa here at some point in Picks of the Week. I was looking to see if we had any good ones. We do have Kaiser Chiefs hosting Cape Town City FC. Why do they have? I mean, I know it's Cape Town and Cape Town is a place, but Cape Town City FC is kind of weird.
Might be the municipality as opposed to.
I understand that.
Are they part of the city football group?
From their crest, no, because they have no light blue in it. I don't know. We have the Thailand League. Police Taro. We have a bunch of police teams we've learned about during doing Picks of the Week.
Yes, we have.
Police Taro is on the road at Chiang Mai United.
You're doing a lot of talking and not a lot of picking, Jason.
I know. There's not a good off-the-board pick here. I was trying to get really weird, and there's just not a good one.
Sometimes weeks can just be disappointing.
It is, Jared. I'm not happy about this.
Well, just bite the bullet.
I am.
Trust Ricky to do the job for you.
What he's trying to do is find something off the board enough for me.
Or card to do the job for you, to be honest.
To drop the veto. So
I'm absolutely trying to foment revolution in the Twitch pitch.
Yeah, no, Jared, I tried that last time, and it got ugly. Be careful, okay? Yeah. Just be careful.
I will be the Marquis de Lafayette out here. Taking part in multiple revolutions in a limited amount of time.
You go for that. I'm going to stay away from those games. So I'm going to go to the second division in Argentina, which has like 543 teams.
This is where
and it's 9 versus 12. Deportivo Madryn hosting Chaco Forever. You okay with that, Nick?
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay. Chaco Forever is in 9th, but they're on the road here. Chaco Forever is now John's favorite team in the history of the world because they've played 12 games and they've drawn 9. Good grief.
See, but wouldn't they be my favorite team of all time if they had actually drawn all 12? As opposed to going and being just, like 9.
And it is Chaco 4.
Let's just kick John out for that one. That's just terrible. It is Chaco Forever. And they do have different badges. They have one that actually just says Chaco Forever. You going to play nice there, John?
Sure.
Okay.
No, he's not. You know he's not.
I know. Chaco Forever has not lost this season. They've won 3 and they've drawn 9. Deportivo Mandrin is 4-3-5. They're all over the place, but they scored a bunch of goals and they've conceded a goal a game. So it's you talk about street fights. The 37-team second division in Argentina is an absolute street fight.
Hey, Katie, this is my $15 headset that like everybody was just enamored with. So there you go. Like, really, just everybody was happy.
NPR setting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ridiculous. All right,
You know what? It doesn't make cartoonishly bad audio anymore. So that's what people are happy about.
Yeah.
I have no odds on this game.
I do for information purposes.
Oh, you do? Okay,
Whoa.
wow, this is big time.
John,
These are not the official numbers, but what are the informational purpose numbers, John?
Deportivo Madryn is a plus 223. Your draw is a plus 165. Chaco Forever is a plus 152 in the composite, courtesy of our friends at Odds Portal.
What was the draw?
Plus 165.
That's the lowest draw number I've ever heard. But they've got 9 draws out of 12, so I get it. Last time they played, Chaco Forever hosted and Madryn won on the road. Chaco Forever comes in, of course, 1 win. They did win their last one. They beat the Rooster of Deportivo Moron, spelled like moron, but it's Moron. And before that, they've drawn 5 games in a row. Deportivo Madryn, they lost 3-2 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
They won 4-1 over our sister club, Club Atlético Atlanta, in the 2nd division in Argentina. So I don't like Deportivo Madryn right now. They had 3 draws before that. Then they had a loss and they had a win. They are all over the map. So, Jarrett, what are you picking?
John, can you give me the odds one more time? I apologize.
Not a problem. It is for Deportivo Madryn, a plus 223 at home. Your draw option is a plus 165. Actually, there's a lower draw number on a match that's played the day before, Jason.
Well,
And
that's just ridiculous.
Chaco Forever is a plus 152. Estudiantes Rio Corto and San Martin are a plus 149 draw.
That's absurd.
Give me Madryn at home.
Hold on. You might want to know this,
What?
Jarrett. Deportivo Madryn has a player that you know.
Mm.
Do you remember a player formerly of the Portland Timbers by the name of Brian Fernandez?
Yep.
Do you? No?
No, I do.
You do?
I do.
He's having flashbacks, apparently.
Yep, he's with Deportivo Madryn. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Here's my question. Does everybody else remember Brian Fernandez?
There's some people. I think you remember Brian Fernandez.
Oh, my God.
Do you want to roll with Brian Fernandez's team?
I don't want to roll with Brian Fernandez's team, but I want to roll with Brian Fernandez's team's number.
I don't know how much I don't know what he does these days. I am not sure of his recent.
Whatever about it is legal. Let's just stop there. Law being a limited thing. Well,
yeah, I don't remember how much the law came into play with his issues or not. He has played in 6 games. He's got 1 goal. And he hasn't played since April 9th, though. So I don't know what that means.
Losing just because it's Brian Fernandez.
You're going for Chaco Forever now. That's what I was expecting to happen. I mean, I kind of have to take the draw because Chaco Forever draws every game 3 out of 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with the draw. John, should I just go ahead and write it down?
Yes, you should.
That's what I thought. Nick.
Give me Count Chocula.
Chaco Forever?
Mm-hmm.
Give me Chaco Forever.
Count Chocula?
Yeah.
Do they have Count Chocula in Argentina?
Gustavo?
Yeah, that's your world.
I don't know if they do or not. I am not sure. Brian Fernandez scared you off, Jarrett, didn't he?
He's having to regroup.
It's okay.
Yep. Well, you know what? You can blame Brian Fernandez for a lot of things. So whatever.
They probably are.
No, I actually had to go. I had to go close the garage door because I'm the only one tall enough in the house to do it.
Close the garage door?
Manual.
It's a manual garage door. The actual the button, like the sensor at the bottom isn't working, so the button doesn't work right now, and I haven't rewired it because I'm not an electrician. I don't feel like getting my entire body lit up with electricity because I didn't hit the right neutral wire.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
It's important to know your limitations in life.
Yes, please. So there have been people who have asked for the story about Brian Fernandez. Brian Fernandez started at a wonderful club called Defensa y Justicia. That was where his youth was as well. Then he went to Racing. He's on loan a bunch of places. He was on loan at Metz for a while. He went to Necaxa. And that's where things got a little different. May of 2019, he was signed for Portland as a designated player. Undisclosed fee reported to be somewhere between $10 to $12 million, a record for the Portland Timbers. He scored on his debut against Houston, 8 goals in his first 6 games. That was May of 2019. October of 2019, he voluntarily entered the MLS Substance Abuse and Behavioral Health Program. November of 2019, MLS announced they had terminated his contract. Went back to Argentina to Colón, January of 2020. Shortly after signing, he disappeared, failed to arrive for training for 3 days. Disappearance reported to the police. They issued an order for his whereabouts. He was later found alive and well at home. Various reasons for his absence were given, including a flu and later of a personal problem. February of 2020, he again missed training, and there were reports of a robbery where they pointed a gun at his head. They allegedly stole his Rolex watch and threw a brick through his window. He also was reportedly threatened by his own father because his father supports Colón's rivals, Unión de Santa Fe. I did not know that part. He went on loan to Ferro, and then in February of this year, he was sent on loan to Deportivo Madryn. He has tested positive for cocaine at 2 in-competition controls in May of 2015.
Wow.
Got a 3-month ban from the AFA in 2015. CONMEBOL sought a 2-year ban. He was suspended in late September of 2015. CONMEBOL got him banned for 2 years. So Racing bumped him down to the reserves, and that's where he played. Then he went to Necaxa. Then he went to MLS. And MLS, I know at one point had sued Necaxa over not disclosing information when the $10 to $12 million transfer was done. I don't know exactly how that was sorted.
I never heard of a resolution there.
I don't remember anything being announced. Do you, Jared?
I don't remember a resolution, but that would be a long, long list of things that MLS has talked about and then never publicly given a resolution on, including DC United playing an ineligible player in a professional league game.
There's that.
And never giving an explanation for punishments for the club who doesn't know how to count to 19.
Yeah, there's that. So there was a report in Mexico after his contract was rescinded here at Portland that Necaxa knew he had relapsed when they sold him. Team doctors had even on one occasion treated him for overdose symptoms, but Necaxa hid that from Liga MX, from Portland, and from MLS. Whew. Yeah. That's a lot of stuff, but he is at Deportivo Madryn at this point. So there's your story, guys.
Hold up, 4-card. Hey, have we ever met in your professional life?
What?
Got a question.
What?
I'm asking 4-card. I'm having a conversation with 4-card really quick.
Wow.
Jeez, he wins a week and now he's just having random conversations with people.
I'm having a conversation with 4-card. All right, 4-card,
Okay.
get back at me. All right, yeah, Count Chocula. That's what's up.
All right. Yes, Jarrett was justified in his silence about Brian Fernandez. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. All right, Twitch pitch.
I did, man. I wasn't even going to go through all of it, but if they
there was
wanted
more
to go
than
through
I
it, we
even knew
went
there.
through
No,
it.
we sometimes we gotta
Yeah,
go
I
through
mean,
it.
that's cool, man. I was going to keep things moving because I'm on the clock. I got to jump soon. So
we're just about done. There was more to it than I knew.
4-card says that all you need is like a 9-volt battery. Okay, all right, cool. No, I just want to make sure. All right,
well,
we're good.
well, no. See, here's the problem with the garage part. It's the sensor on the bottom that the giant ass cat just bulldozed through.
The what
like
cat?
the Kobe Dean, the giant ass cat
Giant
bulldozed
ass
through
cat.
bulldozed through that sensor like Kobe Dean hitting a running back out of the flat.
Jeez, okay. Does the giant ass cat have a name?
No, Perfect Tommy says no Count Chocula in Argentina.
Wow,
disappointing.
That is disappointing. We should take
that is disappointing. Anyway, carry on.
All right, so we have a game for Sunday thanks to the Twitch pitch. It is Nashville opening their stadium against the Philadelphia Union. Nick, good?
Yes.
The opening match at Geodis Park.
Yes. Philly is a plus 260 on the road. The draw is 200. Nashville is a plus 125 for their first home game of the year. Now, remember, these teams met in the postseason last year, and Nashville somehow in a penalty shootout that went 4 rounds scored 0.0.
Bolda Blutarski, yep.
It was bad.
Yep.
Bad. 1-1 draw in regulation and extra time, and then bad. In the regular season before that, Nashville won 1-0 at home. Philadelphia won 1-0 at home, and then they drew 1-1 in Chester in the postseason. Nashville comes in. They played 8 games on the road. They have won 2 of their last 4. They've only lost 1 of their last 4. That was the last one in L.A. on an 86th minute winner, if I remember correctly, to the Galaxy. Philly was on a 5 game winning streak. Then they lost in Toronto and they drew with Montreal on the weekend. In that game on the weekend, Philadelphia managed 4 shots. Not shots on target. 4 shots.
They don't have their playmaking is not the snuff.
They don't
right
know
now.
what playmaking means. They have right now.
I didn't say that, Perfect Tommy. He did.
I did. I said it. Right now, they have one of the lowest pass completion percentages on record since MLS started tracking it. It's as bad as it gets.
American Soccer Analytics actually has an article about that, of like how good can Philadelphia be because they do not pass the ball successfully.
Well, they don't try to because they think the ball has cooties.
Mm-hmm.
They do. Jim Curtin might put the cooties there because they have this plan and it's called Hoof It, and then they press. They press like maniacs.
Hoof It.
Nick, they're probably your favorite team, aren't they? They press.
I like the press. I like the press, not depress. I like the press. So.
Yeah, they know the press because they don't know how to complete a pass. Whose turn is it? I don't like the pressing teams. No, I don't. They're garbage, Nick. They're all garbage. That's how I feel anyway. I got to pick first. I'm picking Nashville at home. Philadelphia will have 5 shots, and they'll pass it like
23% accuracy.
No, that's absurdity. They're like 66% for the year. They'll be at 62% in this game. John, what are you picking?
I want the parabs on the touchline to be wide open the entire time to hear the conversation between Jim Curtin and Gary Smith. I'm picking Nashville at home.
Gary Smith's real high on that list of coaches who will square up on you in a minute.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to talk a whole lot to Jim Curtin.
You don't have anything to say. He'll square up on him, though.
No, he might send Steve Guppy to fight Jim Curtin, but I don't think Gary Smith's going to get his hands dirty. I think he's smarter than that. Now, Guppy might headbutt him. Guppy might headbutt him. That might be demanded by Gary Smith. That might be a condition of his employment. Nick, what are you picking?
I am.
Press! Press!
Wow.
Just pick it. You want to?
I'm going to tell you why. Because
pick it. Go ahead.
Because I'm the winner this week, and I can talk that smack.
Pick it.
What happened is,
get some cool kicks like Jim Curtin. Pick it.
Yeah, he has great kicks. What's wrong with this?
He has great kicks. I like it.
So what I'm going to say is that Nashville is going to do what Nashville does, which is
I do not have a Diego Simeone poster in my room, Katie. I do not have a Simeone poster. And Simeone is not the pressing team. Simeone will sit back and absorb pressure in a counter. That's different. Sorry.
Right, so Nashville is going to do what they do, which is take the bus, slash the tires, set the whole damn thing on fire, and drop a tactical nuke on it in the process.
So who wins this game where you got one team that's going to sit back and defend, and you got the other team who's like, we don't want the ball, we're afraid of it.
Yeah,
you want it? No, we'll stand here.
I think what's going to happen is I think Philly's going to press the bejesus out of them. They're going to be playing out of the back, which is what you don't want to do.
You can't press a team that don't want the ball.
Won't play out of the back.
No, Nashville I think is going to make a few attempts to do something stupid, and Philly's going to capitalize. Give me Philly.
I don't think Nashville plays out of the back. That's why I don't know how this game goes.
No, Nashville's not going to. I think
confused.
Something's going to happen where they're going to be forced to, where they can't just punt it. And I think that Philly's going to catch him and bust him in the mouth.
I don't know. Ball will be kicked off, and ball will not be kicked off, and both teams will just stand there.
Yeah, they'll stand there for the full 90.
Yeah.
we get the ref assignment. The ref's going to sit there and point at it and go, "Well, guys, clock started."
They're going to give this game to Jeremy Rufo and just
I hope there will be blood if they do.
Rufo's going to get the game, and he won't even take the whistle on the field.
I mean, look, I understand. I am on the island of misfit toys.
No, you're not.
I like
There's plenty of people who like the press.
But what I'm saying is, I think Nashville's going to try to do something stupid, and then it'll
I don't buy Nashville doing something stupid. Like, they will play a little bit. I think what they're good at doing is knowing where to play on the field, and I don't think they'll get caught deep with a press. Now, they'll turn the ball over in the middle third, but I'm betting on Hani Mukhtar here. I think Mukhtar has been one of the best players since last season started, and I think he'll find a way to get it done. Philly is leading the league. They absolutely are, Burned. I think Nashville is the kind of team that, because they're not a ball-dominant team either, and they do it differently, it's a tough matchup for me, for Philly. So I want to see how they handle it. I'm intrigued tactically, although they might just both stare at each other for 90 minutes. That's also
this right here. All I'm saying, why I don't understand. Like, you hate the press so much. I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of teams around the world who employ it to great.
Yeah, they're usually garbage teams too.
Oh my god.
I want the ball.
Right.
Winners always do.
I want the ball. I don't want to be afraid of the ball.
Jimmy McGinty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, let's carry on. Actually, I'm honestly in a similar boat to Nick. I think Philadelphia, because I think to an extent Nashville is going to try and entertain their home crowd, and they are going to play in certain areas of the field. I think Philadelphia knows they can come in here and just absolutely be a thief of joy.
No,
they'll come in here and try and ruin Nashville's day. And it might be on a set. I don't think it would be like on a direct turnover, like deep in their own half, but it could be like the Diamond forces a turnover in the middle third, and then Philadelphia earns a corner trying to go on the break, and then scores off a set piece because something weird happens and gets out of there with a 1-0 win, and everyone in Nashville is sad, and Jim Curtin's just cackling like dastardly.
He would be cackling dastardly as well. He absolutely would.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get turned over in, like, right in front of goal or anything. Nothing like that, man. But like it is two really good set piece teams too, so it could be fun in that respect. If that's your vibe, the idea of multiple like set piece goals, potential guys really good in the air on set pieces, it's gonna be a fun game. But I could see Philadelphia just basically grinding this damn thing to a halt. And yeah, give it to Jeremy Rufo. He won't take a whistle on the field for that one.
That would be ridiculous.
There will be blood. Also, I'm done. So,
you have a prop bet.
Prop bet.
Yeah, what's your prop bet?
What's your prop bet?
Prop bet is over under on the yellow cards in the Seattle game.
Over under on the yellow cards in the Seattle Pumas game. Are you going to set a number, or are you going to say just the number of yellows in the game?
You can set your number whatever you want.
Okay,
I would set my number.
Got it.
I would set my number at 6 yellow cards in that game.
All right. Okay. Thank you. If you are leaving us,
I'm leaving you.
Bye.
See you in the morning.
Yellows in Pumas, Seattle. He's going 6. Nick, what are you doing?
I'm gonna be a jerk, and because I think it's a crappy prop bet. I'm gonna say 7.
7. John, what are you picking?
4.
4. 2. I think the referee's like, nah, I ain't throwing any yellows on you, clown.
Basically, yeah.
No, I got nothing.
I think you have two tired teams are gonna go bonkers on each other.
They might. Good news for you, Nick. We have no news on Nicholas Bentner. We got nothing.
Yes.
On our other check-in with Mauro and Wanda Icardi. The 3-letter that we don't talk about is, for some reason, very shocked that Wanda is posting saucy pics on her Instagram. Saucy is the word that they used. Another article on Wanda and Mauro. Wanda sent a message to Mauro after PSG won the title, which, like, what did he actually do within part of that? Did he play? Did he? What has he done this year?
I think he watched sufficiently.
I mean,
He
did he even do that?
Seats.
He didn't even take those seats sometimes. Mauro this season, he did play in 24 games in the league. He started 10. He scored 4 goals.
Okay.
He played 1,000 minutes. Wanda celebrated the title with an emotional message on her social networks. And she said, I want life to only give you back a little of the love, care, and everything you give me. Maybe I'm not the best woman in the world, but what you can be sure of is that I am the one who dies of happiness inside in each achievement of yours, or dies inside of sadness when things don't go well. Aww. That was very nice of Wanda. This is also after the China Suarez ridiculousness from last week. So I don't know. It's craziness. It is kind of funny that Mauro and Wanda are not invited to the Argentine parties in Paris, according to pictures on social media.
Ain't that something?
The rest of them, they get invited. So Messi, Di Maria, Paredes, they get invited. Now,
Puppet Master's not allowed in the room.
Now, they did allow him in the picture with the 4 Argentines after winning the title. Messi and Mauro are drinking Budweisers. No Wanda, though.
Yeah,
because they did let Mauro in that.
Because they understand that he is an empty-headed buffoon and Wanda is the puppeteer. So as long as Wanda's not around, they will sometimes perform an act of mercy and allow him to be included.
He's a countryman, you know. They feel bad, I guess. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
They let him hang out. They let him have a Budweiser and celebrate the win.
Yes, exactly.
Well, sometimes they let people with the really good seats to watch the game occasionally do interactions with the players.
Yes. And now in France, they are still talking about WandaGate. All different things. Le Parisien is reporting all kinds of things about Mauro and Wanda and updating on WandaGate. And they say that Mauro's adventure at PSG could end in the offseason. Like, duh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're just rehashing the scandal. WandaGate.
When a nation-state club thinks they're wasting money on you, I want you to think about what they consider wasting money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Completely like Egyptian cotton, 6,000 count toilet paper.
Yeah.
Not a waste.
Nah.
Mauro Icardi on the bench. Titanic waste of money.
Yeah, waste.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you, Ricky. I don't know why the 3-letter outlet from England that is very, very bad. I don't know why they thought the picture was so saucy. I don't know. She's in workout gear. It ain't that big of a deal.
Whatever.
Saucy. But yes, he's out. I don't know where he ends up. Where's he playing next year?
There.
Sorry.
Bless you.
I would say
Orlando.
No. Who and God? What? Wanda will call up and be like, no, because Wanda is
Wanda has all his money, basically.
All his money.
Sounds like. Wanda is like wherever Wanda wants him to play is where he's going to play.
No.
It's not that simple either.
It's not that simple anymore. Wanda would want him if he in MLS. She would want him in Los Angeles, Miami, or New York. End statement.
Yep.
Because with I don't know is Bien's still going, but
yeah,
Wanda would want some sort of role with Bien if Mara were to go to Miami. That's probably not going to happen. So,
no, ain't her.
So she is probably going to try to get something done in Italy again. He's not going to go to Inter. Milan's not going to take him. And so where are you going to go?
How upsetting would it be
if
now with the takeover, if the first big move is Milan bringing Mauro Icardi in?
I'm going to go on strike for a year.
We've signed a new forward. Zlatan's done, and we're signing Mauro.
Out for a year. For a year, I will abstain from all AC Milan activity.
A Milan abstention.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, because that's where she wants him to go. She wants him to go to Milan because that allows her to keep her media gigs in Italy. It allows her to stay in the Italian New York. It allows her, that's where she wants him to go. It's not going to happen.
What about Inter?
Whatever Inter, if Inter wants to do something that stupid, that's their business. That's not mine. Hey, look, I've watched plenty of people who I kind of know make really terrible decisions, and I will sit there and be like, hey, you may not want to do that. And they're like, yo, I don't know you. Okay. Have fun.
Reportedly, he had to give her access to all his money to get her back after the first Wanda Gate.
Look.
Or Mauro Gate, I guess at that point. I don't know.
Mauro made a fundamental mistake in going after his buddy's lady.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, that's where it started.
He set his entire career with Argentina on fire.
Yep.
He essentially allowed her to manipulate him in so many different ways. She put him in an adversarial position with Inter, who was essentially building their entire attack around him. And then somehow finagled a move to PSG. Good Lord, I don't know how you worked that out. And now PSG's recognized the fact that in the world of dumb stuff that we do to waste money, you're a bit too much for us. So I don't know who else is going to take him. I mean, there's no. What's he going to say for his fee? What's an acceptable? That's not a rhetorical question. What is an acceptable fee for Mauro Icardi at this point in his career with the absolute nothingness that he's done in a performance perspective?
So Transfermarkt values him at $30.8 million.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Well, that has gone down from December of 2018 when he was at $110 million. I've never seen the market value graph on Transfermarkt do that. Like, not for somebody who's 29. Like, you see it with somebody who might be like Pepe Sand, who it probably not worth a whole lot to anybody else right now. But he was at 110 million in a valuation. He went to PSG and he was valued at 82. The deal from Inter to PSG in July of 20 reportedly was 55 million. There's no way PSG is getting anything remotely close to that.
No.
20?
No.
20 million maybe?
No. No. There's the problem is that you're setting money on fire, right? Like, you're setting money. It's one thing if somebody does something to you.
They're going to release him?
To set your money on fire. I'll give an example. We had a roof redone here at the house, right? And this company comes out, Peachtree Restoration, and they say, we can work around all this stuff. No problem. Okay, great. They come out, they tear everything to hell and back. Okay? They set $3,600 of my money on fire. Okay? That's not my fault. They didn't do their due diligence. Okay? So now I've got to get $3,600 from them. Now, if I go up there and try to do this stuff on my own and tear all this stuff to hell, then that's on me and my stupidity for setting it on fire. I have regret with the decision I made, but at least it's not like self-inflicted from the standpoint of I screwed it up myself. If you sign Mario Icardi at this point, you're doing it to yourself. You're a masochist. You enjoy hurting yourself if you signed this nincompoop. So I don't know any team that's that desperate for buzz that would want to sign him. I don't. His head's not in the game. His head is not in the game, and his head is to the point where look at Inter Miami has so many issues, right? They seem to have sorted a lot of them out, and they seem to have at least reached a level of stability now. So Miami's off the table.
Yeah. Unless he goes to the Miami FC and Ricardo Silva pays the bill.
He plays in front of like 25 people a game.
So then who does that leave? He's not going to run enough for Red Bull, and he's not going to want to play in New Jersey.
No.
He's in NYCFC.
No.
NYCFC, he's not going to enjoy the work rate that those boys are going to want to have him put in either.
And he's not going to want him at LAG.
No. So, LAFC seems to be okay in attack. I don't think that's where exactly he's going to go. Where's she going to go that's good enough for Wanda? Who's going to take him? Colorado? No. No, Wanda can't go to Colorado.
Awesome.
Wanda on the slopes in Aspen while
Hell no. Wanda's going to try to get what you think Wanda's going to get a media job in Fort Collins?
Oh no!
I think she's going to get one in
literally she's just going to be in Aspen doing her own show, like we're seeing with
LAFC's not that stupid. Fort Card, they're not doing it.
No,
Sean, Miami. No, settle down, Sean. Miami is much better than they were.
I didn't say that. I did not say they're all good. I say they're at least they've reached a level of stability.
They're reasonable now.
Yeah,
and they've won 4 in a row in all competitions.
No, I'm not saying they're all good now. No, I'm not saying they're all good.
They're solid. They're a functioning team.
When you think about the penalties that were put against them,
yes,
yeah.
Considering that, they're not doing too terrible. Considering the
people don't want to give Phil Neville any props whatsoever, but he's done a good job
of stability. You went from having some of the harshest. It is not the harshest penalty in MLS history, right?
Yes. Icardi to Montreal, Ricky.
I think considering it's not terrible considering.
Yeah.
I think it's
Icardi to Montreal.
Stable.
It is.
She's not going to Canada.
What about Toronto?
She's not going to Toronto. She doesn't consider Toronto a major city.
They got Insigne there, and then they're not going to get Belotti.
Two entirely different players.
They're not going to get Belotti, so they're going to have money to spend.
If Toronto wants to go, and Bob Bradley, I want the video on that one where Bob Bradley gives the speech that he gave to LAFC. Carlos Vela. Carlos, I want you to be our Messi. Okay, you're going to be our Messi. Okay. And look at the blank stare that you're gonna get. It's like Werner Herzog talking about the flat-brained chickens. It's like when you stare into the eyes of the chicken and you see its flat-brained stupidity, the abyss of stupidity staring back at you. Like that's exactly what he's gonna get. He's gonna get the exact same thing when he stares at Mario Icardi's flat-brained chicken.
So who's
intellect staring?
Who's more of a flat-brained chicken intellect, Icardi or Donnarumma?
I will say Icardi because Icardi's a nincompoop for a number of reasons. But I would say Donnarumma got manipulated because he's had Mino as an agent for a long time, and Mino manipulated him into thinking that the world was against him.
Yeah.
Now it wasn't.
Okay, now hold on, Sean. Sean, you are thoroughly incorrect, and I'm going to have to correct you here before we go. Miami doesn't play in the city that they claim to be playing in. They're a mess until further notice. I've been in that venue in Fort Lauderdale yesterday, and there are plenty of venues that are in the city that clubs claim to be representing that are garbage compared to that place. It was nice. It was good. They did a good job with a temporary venue. It was great. They've not taken coming into MLS seriously, and it shows. I disagree with that. Jorge Mas maybe took it a little too seriously with spending money under the table. That's a whole other topic. I think politics in Miami have been a lot more difficult than they thought they would be. When you have filmmakers creating tabloid pieces to attack your stadium. I don't think anybody had that one on the bingo card.
No.
It's difficult. Well, it's bad because of the Marlins. Don't ask the Marlins. The Marlins are the ones who broke everything.
See, I got to agree with him. I have to agree with Sean in this aspect. Like, how many stadium renderings did we see from Inter Miami?
Here's what I disagree. I disagree they haven't taken it seriously. I think that's incorrect. They have, because they have tried it. They haven't walked away from it. They have tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. The reason it's so difficult is the Marlins ripped the city off so badly that nobody wants to do anything on a stadium, period.
I will say that Beckham didn't help himself by going to the basketball game instead of going to see his own team play.
That's the least of any issues at this point. That's minor. Yes, it wasn't a good look, but
what I'm saying is Miami couldn't afford him right now if they wanted to, and I don't think you want him in the locker room.
They could, because they have a designated player spot, but they ain't using it on Mauro Cardi.
They use it on Mauro Cardi.
They're not using it.
Flat-brained chicken.
No,
the
that's
abyss of
not
stupidity staring back at you.
There's other clubs in the league that have bigger issues than Miami right now. To be perfectly honest about it, Miami and what they have is a better place than New York City and what they have.
Yeah.
I could, actually see what was going on the field in Fort Lauderdale. The trip was actually one of my favorites in the league because it was so easy because everything's right by the airport.
Yeah.
So I'm biased, but no, you're right you're right in that Beckham. Well, I think he knew. I don't think he should have known. I think he knew that it would be difficult, but he wanted to do Miami. He got a deal in his contract when he re-upped with MLS. That was a sweetheart effing deal. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, I'm going to take my sweetheart deal and I'm going to try to parlay it into making Miami work. And like I said, when Miami was coming in, that was the last really big potential transformational market that isn't in the league already. Vegas will be nice. Don't get me wrong. Vegas will be cool. Vegas will be good, but you ain't getting Mauro and Wanda clamoring to go to Vegas, I don't think. You're not getting Lionel Messi clamoring to go to Vegas.
If Wanda can get a job in LA, then she might put Mauro in Vegas. That's the only way it works. That's the only way it works.
She might put him a lot of places if she can get a job somewhere else. But anyway.
Look, and I looked at the picture, the 3-letter post. It's a thirst trap. It's a thirst trap.
It's not that big of a
singlet.
deal.
It's not a big deal. It's Instagram. Like, we see better than that by the minute. But
saucy.
There's no one in this league, I think, who's paying him what he wants to be paid.
No. He doesn't. Nobody in the league should. Nobody in the league should. It's not a good business.
No.
Phoenix is not Miami, and that's the thing, guys. Like, no. There's no. You went for Miami because of the holy grail of what it could be. Now, did they ever get there? They might not.
No, but I'm with Miami, Ricky. But the thirst trap thing is the thirst trap part of it is that she asked, "See or no."
That part's thirst trap.
Get the
yeah
out of here. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, that part.
No, but whatever the thing with Mauro and Wanda is that you have to facilitate a win for both of them. And the win for her is not being Mauro's agent. The win for her is landing a media job in whatever major market she wants to be in. And to her, there's only 3 acceptable ones: New York, Miami, Los Angeles. End statement. That's it. Anything else won't work for her. Anything else won't work for her. And she doesn't trust him enough to be that far away from him.
Yeah,
at least with Vegas and Los Angeles, it's doable via helicopter or whatever for her.
Yeah. Okay. Last couple ones. Miami didn't get picked to come into the league in 2020. They got picked in 2014. The league was in a different place. At that time, you needed big markets like Miami, and Miami is a market that, if they get it right, can be one of the biggest in the league. No question around it.
Yeah.
Now, Bernd, I would agree with you. You don't have to get big cities. I disagree that you don't go to big cities if the owner's good. You go to where the ownership is right now. You're at a different place than you were in 2014. Miami was announced before Atlanta was. So it was different when you did it. Miami was absolutely a smart expansion city, Sean. It was the city that outside of LA and New York that you could have at that level that was left.
They're running into the same problem as New York, though.
There.
The problem
exactly
not the city. The problem's real estate.
And exactly. It's complicated. It's very complicated.
Yep.
Then whatever, just blow it up. Never mind. I'll stop talking because nobody wants to hear what I'm saying anyway. Miami is not Phoenix or Vegas or anywhere else. They might not get it right. But when you're David Beckham and you get the franchise for like $25 million,
yep,
you get a lottery ticket, you're going for where that could cash out the best. And that was Miami. In 2014, and honestly, he was working on it before that. That was it. That was the play. Now, do they get it right? I don't know. They have not screwed it up, in my opinion, because if you, and look, real simple. You get a stadium in Miami, and we'll see if they get this done. I think they still need one vote to pull it off with the vote.
Yep.
Say they get that. That's step one. You announce that Lionel Messi's coming to Miami. Nothing before him mattered.
Right.
Nothing mattered. They're not going to think about Gonzalo Higuain in Miami.
Nope.
If you pull that off, and he's got property there, and all the signs point to that being a possibility, and maybe he brings a buddy or two. The uniforms are not trash. Oh my goodness, Sean!
Love
good grief!
Wow,
love the uniform.
No,
there is absolutely a shot that Messi goes to Miami. Anyway, we'll see if it happens, but there's absolutely a shot that happens.
Yeah.
Sean, you're being an absolute hater right now, and I get it. You're mad about the game. I get it.
But see, the thing is that people are still looking at this from a soccer competitiveness thing. It's not. It's a branding perspective.
Economics and branding.
If Messi comes to Miami, the branding alone for brand Messi, it's a win-win-win for brand Messi. Just like it was for brand Beckham when he came 100%. Over to the LA Galaxy.
You saw them rebrand. That's what happens. And I actually like Miami's brand. I like their crest. I like what they did with that. But Messi shows up. Oh, it's everything is day one.
Yep.
They ain't remembering Bryce Duke. Mm-mm. Sorry, Bryce. Nope. They're not remembering Breck Shea playing there. It's Messi time.
Right.
It's a whole different conversation. Now that's a big bet that you got to pull off. But
if you weren't paying players under the table and you didn't get the largest fine in MLS history, I think we're having a very different conversation here. But they made the same mistake that a lot of these teams make, which are signing over-the-hill stars to get their name on the map for that quick hit, right? From a branding perspective. Yes, people know Matuidi and they know Higuain. And
it's not that simple.
It was stupid. That was
Messi, then yes. Like that's the thing. Beckham, when he came, yes. Messi, if you get him after the World Cup, which is when you would get him, I mean, you're not getting him until the summer of 23 at the earliest. He's got one more year in Paris and he's going to stay. Is he going to want to sign?
The Moss brothers can engineer that for him?
For him to come? He's not coming now.
No, he's not coming now, but I'm talking about Sean. Messi can't give him the franchise. The Moss brothers will engineer something.
They don't have to give him the franchise. They'll give him so much land in Miami, it'll be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not going to be a problem.
No, they'll make that happen because I don't think you're going to have a line of teams who are going to want to sign 34, 35-year-old Messi for a lot of money. He's going to make the money in Miami.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think he wants that. I mean, I think you're kind of seeing that in Paris right now. Like, the motivation's not the same because it's not Barcelona for him. That was personal.
Yep.
This is PSG's just PSG. Like, I don't think he wants the super competitive craziness after the World Cup.
And look,
I think it's possible. It might not happen, but I think it's possible.
I think if Miami had
the Moss brothers have plenty of land, Sean. Stop being a hater, man. Listen, Sean, please. Just listen to what we're saying.
The Moss brothers have more than enough money to make it work.
Super connected. They were paying Matuidi under the table.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's for these players, they're starting to understand. I know, Sean, you grew up down there. I get it. I know what I'm saying is we all know that the money makes the moves. And at the end of the day, the Moss brothers have the money to get the job done. Beckham is probably the only guy who will be able to sit down with any of these players and say, look, you're talking to somebody who built a brand from next to nothing, from a kid from like Preston North End, built one of the largest brands in the world, and I did it by coming here to MLS. I did heavy lifting at Manchester United. It only got me so far. I came to LA. I got a whole new market.
There was Madrid stop.
Well, we'll send it Milan, but the thing is that you can own Europe, and you can own Asia, but the North American market is the market where there's the most disposable income available, and you can come over here and build that brand.
Solo La just scored in the 94th minute to equalize against Comunicaciones.
It's cocaine in a can, baby. Cocaine in a can.
Yes, Guatemala.
And so it's a matter of time before Messi comes here for that branding perspective. It's too much stupid money on the table. And if Ronaldo didn't have what Ronaldo has going on over his head, I think he would have been here if he didn't have that. So Miami had a lot of screw-ups along the way.
I think one thing you guys are missing here is this was not a typical expansion deal either, where the league is picking where they want to go and there's bidding and all that. No, like when they re-signed Beckham,
it's part of the deal.
He had the option to pick where he wanted. Now they had to approve, but do you want to get into a public pissing match with Beckham at that stage? No, you don't, because you want to be in Miami too. And that's where he picked. Now, they made him go through a couple different cycles of potential partners. And if you remember, one of the guys who might end up with Chelsea was Beckham's partner at one point on Inter Miami, Bowley. And they wanted somebody more local. They wanted more local connections to it. That's where the Moss brothers come in. Then they pay Matuidi under the table. Maybe they would have rather had Bowley. But anyway, it wasn't at all like the other expansion spots. It was very unique because of the unique deal that you did with Beckham, which was unique to bring him in the first place because it kicked the league to a whole nother level. They bet, and he bet on Miami being a place that could do that. It's not going to harm them if it's like it is now. If they stayed in Fort Lauderdale, they can be a nice little team.
Yeah.
If they get into Miami, the sky can be the limit for what they can do. Yep. And it's worth the bet, especially in 2014 when they were approved.
Right.
Today, it's a different conversation, but that's not when the team was approved. It was 14.
Now, Sean, what I will say is regarding the culture of the city where they want teams, but then they don't show up, that's a different conversation entirely.
Completely.
Beckham wanted to be in Miami. And that's, a lot of Euro people want to be in Miami.
They will need stars and they will need to win. And if they don't have it, they're going to have bad crowds. But when they do, they will have it. But you got to have that. And it's exaggerated. It's like it is everywhere, but it's exaggerated in Miami.
And so we talk about like the New England Revolution, right? Like, well, why can't they be in Boston? Well, again, like Burns was talking about, it's New York.
Kraft owned the stadium.
New York, Chicago, Boston, Miami. You have so many layers of bureaucracy that can stop the slightest bit of traction immediately, full on lock. And where deals like this would be done, no problem, wiped away. Yep. I make 2 phone calls and it's done in just about any other city. It's not happening in those, which is why the Cubs are talking about moving the organization out of downtown Chicago because you have issues with aldermen, right? The issues with aldermen. No other place you're dealing with issues with aldermen except Chicago. But
that's true.
But they're saying, well, we need this done with the stadium, that done with the stadium. We need city funds. Nope, you're not getting the funds. Cool. We'll make an exact replica of Wrigley out of the city limits.
Yeah.
The conversation has happened. And it's the same thing. Why do we have to go all the way to Foxborough for a Revs game? Why can't we do it where it would do killer
Kraft
numbers in
got
downtown
control
Boston?
of Foxborough forever ago,
Right.
and it's a business play. It's smart business for
you
him.
You can't build in downtown Boston. Why can't we get a NYCFC stadium near LaGuardia? Because the flipping real estate's
ain't no space,
expensive, and you have developers who are exceedingly rich who can throw all kinds of hurdles in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And they have. And you've had a bunch of venues that have been nailed down, and you've had progress made, and then it's yanked out away from you, like Lucy with the football. That has happened in NYC. However, and I'm trying to find it really quick before we go, because I saw something that was very, very interesting. That's like a lot of this with NYC has been under the radar because I don't think they really want to talk about anything publicly until it's done. Here it is. New York City recently announced partnerships on April 25th, today, with a concrete supplier company. They announced a partnership on April 22nd with a temporary/suspended access equipment company. They announced a partnership on April 13th with a concrete superstructure company. On March 31st, a construction consulting services company. March 28th, an electric company. March 11th, an inspection company. All based in New York, all partnerships since the beginning of March.
Some sanitation agreements, I'm sure, were handled.
That'll be the next partnership.
Next, yeah.
Maybe they found a way to push through some of that, and maybe they're creating partnerships with everybody possible to do it. Who knows? We'll see. It's tough. It's tough, but those are two big markets, and when they were announced, MLS was in a different place. Mm-hmm. And now you don't have to go through that, but now all the big markets are really claimed, and you get to pick and choose because Phoenix or Vegas or San Diego or wherever, Pittsburgh or Louisville or, wherever you want to talk about, they all have interesting things, and it's about the quality of the ownership. Mm-hmm. When you were able to add a second team in New York, you needed it for TV purposes. When you're able to add Miami to the mix, you needed it for cachet, for business, for also Beckham got the pick, and he did. Yep. And that's why you did it. And it's a different league now. So those teams will be put under the microscope. NYC's got to get a stadium done. Miami, they've got a plan together. They have worked it. They got to get a vote done. They got to get approval. If they do, they're in great shape. If they don't, well, then they got to come up with a different plan because I don't think they get to do what they wanted to do in Fort Lauderdale. I think it's okay. I think it's fine. Yep. It's not what Miami was intended to be. Yeah. And can they figure something else out, or do they just settle for being fine? I don't know. We'll see. But we've went almost 4 hours, so we should probably go.
Yeah.
Because good grief.
All right, where are you guys going to be this week?
We're all over the place. We're at Rush Union on Thursday, and I hear there might be a wild Nick Alifi.
That's right.
Oh, jeez.
That is the location of Jackie Fresh. That's where Jackie Fresh plays. I think he has practice that night anyway. So,
there you go. Convenient pairing there.
It is. Look, it is walking distance to my house. So I'll put it that way.
Very cool. Well, we will see Nick there, and you can watch us on Twitch there. And if you want to come out, and I think a lot of regulars are actually coming out for that. Trying to play a little pickup afterwards, from what I hear on the Discord. So you never know. Things can happen. But we'll be live on Thursday evening. Yes, Cassie, we are here for you while you were at work. We do our best to try to entertain.
Yep.
And maybe inform and probably like anger and all those different things. We do our best. Send us home.
Choice D, all the above.
Send us home, Nick.
All right. Make sure you are always. Again, we talk about every week. World's a crazy, crazy place. A lot of stuff in the news, a lot of stuff on the socials and whatnot. Don't wrap yourself up in it. It's not worth it. I promise you. Look, I'm a man. I'm 41. It's not worth it. All right, all the petty BS that you think is like worth the hill dying for.
Tweet.
It's not. If it doesn't apply, scroll on by. That will save you so much drama.
Very nice.
Saucy. And understand when you're being marketed to. Okay.
Yes.
Outside of that, look, you can be on any side of any argument. Doesn't mean you have to emotionally invest yourself in all of it. Okay. So there you go. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate everyone tuning in. Come out to Rush Union. Come out and say hi to us. I'm going to stop by and say hello. The guys will be there. It'll be wonderful. Support local soccer. Support the grassroots, smaller clubs. Support them too outside just big clubs. Love you all. Mucho Euro. Champion. Champion.